Posso, posso sim.
Então fala algumas.
Hello, everyone.
Sem energia, você não vai cantar?
Canto no final do vídeo, né? No começo, não.
Ah, só o final.
Ué, porque aí o povo já vai embora, coitado.
Nossa.
E você vai cantar comigo. Que é pior ainda, entendeu?
Oh, here's my unboxing knife. Okay. Hey, Jason.
Hey,
No money pants,
Jason!
just my good old jeans. Hey, Goondocks.
Hey,
Welcome.
Gondog.
Um,
Dogs in the house.
hey, Budget Guy. Thanks
Hello,
for joining.
welcome.
Okay. So, channel knife, Booker Excalibur, front flipper, 440C, Frank Frazetta, Ghoul Queen. So this is from Leo over at Lions EDC. And watch me pry with this. I'm going to pry. No, maybe I'm not. Actually, you can just open these like this. Hold on. I won his giveaway. I have like such good luck with these giveaways. Well,
Foi o
maybe not
sorteio que
such.
você
A
ganhou?
certain amount of good luck. That okay?
Foi o seu sorteio? Aquele que você ganha?
Eu ganhei. David is the one that has won like I think David didn't you win like 23 giveaways or something ridiculous? I don't know. That's nuts. Oh, I think he added in something extra. Okay, so there's his sticker. Oh, wait, let me expand this. Okay, there we go. So there's Leo. Oh, cool. It's the IR2 EOS all-in-one rechargeable keychain light limited edition. Why is it limited? Is that the orange one? Let's see. Included is the micro USB cable. Let's see. Doesn't tell you what color. I don't know. L91 something. Wait, that's totally unopened. Look at that. Okay, so here we go. Wow. Virgin. Brand spanking new. Look at that. Okay, there's a little arrow. And, oh, looks like it goes this way. And it's the orange one. Why is the orange one limited edition? What's so limited about this? This is going to go on my keychain right away because I had cheap freebie keychain flashlights from the Animation Guild, and boy, are they crappy! Wow, look at that. That is so bright.
Legal.
And it just does not. And they all fell apart on me, and I was like, well, it's my EDC flashlight. And well, anyway, I've been basically flashlightless. Oh, look at that. They even match the
Amor,
USB cable. Okay, let's see. Whoa. What
parece
on earth?
peso de academia.
Okay.
Parece um peso de
25 as of
academia.
today. Yeah, because David just won another one. How in the hell do you win 25? Ele ganhei sorteios 25 vezes. Esse cara, David. Winner, chicken dinner. You do seem to be lucky in your giveaways. I'm decently lucky, but obviously David is just bro, you better watch out. You're going to run through all your good karma. All your good karma is going to go. I heard somebody in the chat.
Fala pra ele jogar na loteria que ele ganha.
She's saying you should play the lottery. Let's see. Let me catch up. Yeah, so 25 as of today. Oh, that's cool. Really? That's nice. Oh, fans say limited edition? I don't get it. Oh, light. Oh, fan day. Oh. But what the heck is that? Is that supposed to be their version of a USB port? No, is it? Wait, how does this work? Okay, so that's regular. What is that supposed to plug into? Does that plug into a computer? Oh my god. Does it? Oh, it does. Ethernet cable? What? Did that just happen? That went into my Ethernet cable or Ethernet hookup. Okay, let's see. Okay, that's correct. Okay, well, there you go. Should I charge it first? Anyway, I guess I will. That literally just plugged into my Ethernet connection. Or no, wait. Oh, no, that's not an Ethernet connection. That really is a USB. It's just their version of USB. It doesn't enclose all the way. It just goes into the slot part without having the full like frame cage around it. So this happened. I pulled out the Christmas lights. Can you see? And they were just fine. And then I go to put them up. And I had just grabbed my rat and I put her on my bed. And then I go to get the lights. And look at that. She already chewed one of them. She's so bad. She's so naughty. So she chewed through, so all the rest of them are dead. So I don't know if that's easy to reconnect. But that's one of the downsides of having a rat. Well, you guys might think that there are others as well, but green, charging completed, red, charging, micro USB, TIR optic lens. What does that mean? What does TIR mean? All right. Oh yeah, español.
Olá. Olá, que tal? Tem
Oh my
português,
God.
não?
Slightly tighten the tail clasp. Yeah, they have Porsche, Deutsch, they have Netherlands, Sweden, but they don't have Portuguese. That they have Romanian,
What the fuck?
Ukrainian, and I mean, jeez, they separate Ukrainian and Russian. Look at that. That's
O povo não
nearly
gosta de
identical.
brasileiro. Deve ser
Yeah,
por isso.
sim.
Não. I hate Brazilian.
Eles têm preconceitos
Yeah.
contra brasileiros.
Oh,
Tão ignorante. Eles
yeah.
não sabem que lendo.
Sim.
Não pode ler nada.
Não pode ler nada.
No,
Ai.
nada. Okay. Oh, okay. So here's the unboxing of the major. So this is cool. Like the gift box here, browning.com. I guess that's the number. Canada. Wait, no, US. Oh, okay. No numbers on it. I guess just that. So let's see here. How do you pull this out like that? So I remember when I saw him do the unboxing on this, and that's a pretty nice tin. Browning, a marca de. Oh, wait.
Marca de quê?
Oh, okay. Ahma. He deserves it. I hope he has a good. Fan day. Okay. Oh, I'm way behind. If I don't respond by name, I'm playing before Huh? What is this? Before I don't get it. David, share the fluffing luck. Ha. I didn't win. Okay, plugs into light and computer, right? Oh, hey, G-Ball. Thanks for joining. And let's see.
Dragon Ball.
Hey, Grumpy. Oh, rats, no lights. Aha.
Oxi.
Bad girl, my cats would like the rat. There's lots of, go online. There's tons of rat and cat vids. Well, although not always. Let's see. Hey, TIR, total internal reflection. Oh, thank you. Thank you for that information. Wait, why is that not coming up on screen? Total internal reflection. So for the flashlight, it's charging. I can't unplug it. Okay. Okay, here we go. BFM Milsim, Battlefield 4 military simulator. Okay, wait. Like that, is that like an actual military simulator thing? Like an actual simulator? It's not a video game, right? Because I remember the U.S. Army came out with a first-person shooter. When was that? Back in the late 90s, and it was considered one of the best first-person shooters at the time. Okay, so here we go. Browning. Not everyone loves Browning. I don't have a problem with them. Admittedly, you know, a lot of these companies are making their stuff over in China now, so sometimes they're underwhelming. Looks like they have a diagram for sharpening. Oh yeah, here we go. Here, how to sharpen your knife. Okay, so there's how to sharpen your knife. Yeah, and never sharpen on a power grinding wheel. This has sort of that faux velvet type of feel. Not faux velvet, that's like velvet. By the way, there's an old school style of painting from the 70s where people painted on velvet. And there used to be, they kind of closed down now because of COVID. They kind of, everyone went out of business. But there was a velvet painting museum right down there in the heart of Chinatown here in LA, because there's only a few people left that know how to paint on velvet, because it's a rare art form. It was considered kitschy in the 70s. It all disappeared. Now, if you want to get a velvet painting, woo, it's worth money, because it's a lost art form. Obviously, because see how the velvet has see if you go one way and the other, it changes. So when you try and paint on this material, it's hard. I mean, there's only one way to. At any rate, it's a lost art at this point. So this is a tip protector. It's their version of a traditional / modern. One thing I don't like is they tend to be tipped down. I have a Browning micarta, and it's tipped down. It's flickable though. You can flick it open. You can middle finger flick it, so it's not the worst. I actually kind of like these. It's got some varnish on it, so it's definitely smooth. But there's something about wood scales that's just kind of nice. I don't know. So that's pretty nice. Now this tin, on the other hand, silica. Here we go. Woo-hoo. You can make a little survival kit out of this. And since it's bigger than your Altoids tin, you could put a much larger fixed blade in there, So I bought this from Leo, which won't fit. But if I cut part of... Oh, look at that. Look at that. See? You could put a pretty sizable fixed blade in there. Let's see what else.
Amor, cabe a minha faca aí dentro, não?
Oh, man. Okay, here's the sea snake. Okay, not even close. Well, let's see. Almost.
Não,
but not quite. That's definitely
minha
too
faca.
big. Sua!
My knife.
Oh, yeah, speaking of, there's this one here. Oh, the Bradford Guardian. Hold on.
I
have entirely way too many neck knives on here. Okay, so here's the Bradford Guardian necker, and just barely won't. However, the knife itself fits fairly comfortably. So, you can shave these down if you were that desirous of The minimalist fits comfortably. This is the blade, the SMKW exclusive Brown Micarta D2. You know what's weird? They sent with the wrong sheath. Look at that. That is not the Bowie sheath. That's like the weird reverse Tonto sheath. That's bizarre. I wonder if they did that on purpose. Has good retention. Obviously, something like this will fit because it's got the what is this? The tailbone. What do they call this thing? The neck bone or whatever. What is this thing called? So that's one of the benefits of something like that.
Sem a capinha. Sem a bainha. Tira a bainha.
Sim. Okay, anyway, so that's that. What else? Oh, now I can open these coins. Let me catch up on these comments. Oops, way too far. Oh, okay, console game. Okay. No, what? No to cold to ruck and camp. So I'm hoping in with my brother-in-law's friends. He was an army grunt. They love to pretend on console. Okay. Velvet Elvis. Yeah, sure. Okay. Just decoding for you while he plays.
Hey, Scott.
The Velvis.
Hey, Todd.
Oh, hey, Scott.
Welcome.
Thanks for joining. Drone operator, so I get my typing moments. You're a drone operator, or your brother is? Or okay. We could do... Wait, what? We could do a blade chop mod to get it to fit in there. No, thanks. It's definitely not that important. Hey, de que Paulo, está lá? Ele é lá.
Cadê?
It's not the wrong sheath. The same sheath comes with both blade styles.
Hey,
Thanks for
Paulinho.
telling me that. I would have never known that. That is very helpful information. And how did you even find that out? That's
Bom
did you
dia.
call in to find out? Or? Okay. Oh, okay. In the game, you're the drone operator. Okay.
Wow.
Okay, I'm going to open this now. If I can find, oh, here it is. So this was a giveaway for, I don't know, silver or something? I don't even know. I don't remember. Sorry, I don't remember. It was like collectible coins. I just did that. That's exactly why I don't like front flippers. It's not only because, people are generally resistant to change. I get it. And I'm definitely a victim to that. Something's new. It's going to take me a while to warm up to it. But there's a practical reason as well. It's so much easier to lose your grip on the on front flippers because of the way you're forced to hold it. You just don't get that much of a purchase. One thing I realized, though, when Swags was talking about her Mylea, though, is that she was saying that it's great for girls who have long nails. They can just use, the side of their finger. I don't know. Anyway, that's a consideration that I would have never considered, which I think is fair. I think we ought to consider that, absolutely. We too often don't consider women. Look at that. Christmas GAW mystery box number 6. Oh, never mind. I didn't win it. I forgot. Okay. Okay, here we go. Silver Seeker Collectible Card Series 2. Okay, so Silver Seeker is the channel. Foil odds 1 in 25. Huh? What? I wonder what that means exactly. Okay, Silver Seeker collectible cards. Whoa! No way. He literally, the spider bug. Wow, meltdown. Oh my gosh, he printed up cards of himself. That is so cool. I didn't know you could do that. Wow, that's really neat. I didn't know you could do something like that. Okay. So here we go. Thanks so much for supporting the channel. Missouri. Okay. Here we go. Silver Seeker collectible cards. Because proper. Silver Seeker. Numismatis. Precious Metals Advisor. Okay, so these are, oh, look at that. So these are these little keepers that you put the coins into. I think they're 3D printed. And so this is a United States dime. I think they're Liberty dime, 1941. I think this is when they were made with silver. They still had silver in them, which is
O
why
que
I
é
think that
isso?
é moeda. Olha.
Legal.
And then this is, oh, I think this is a wheat penny. Yeah, this is a wheat penny. And you know what's so weird about these wheat pennies? They're worth money now. But I remember when I was a kid, my parents would keep change, and we used to have dozens of wheat pennies. Of course, we never kept them at the time. I mean, I thought I would, but, through the years, we didn't really. Proof. Wow, look at that, 1961. Okay. 1992.
Hello, Mitchell. New May. Marcos, welcome.
Hey, Michael.
Olá, que tá?
Is it a Is that what it's called? A Mercury dime? Hold on. Let me
Não é
catch up
Mitchell, não, é
here.
Michael. Eu sempre erro Mitchell e Michael. Michael Mitchell.
I have owned. Oh, really? I've owned every blade style except the extremely silly cleaver. Why is the cleaver silly? Everyone went nuts for that. I think that was the newest edition, wasn't it? That was like the most recent one. How's the Persian Grumpy? Yeah, that one's one of the rare ones. And then there's the Hawkbill. That's pretty rare. Some of the minimalist ones are quite rare. I've literally never even seen them. Except in
JN,
pictures.
hello.
It's 10 to 5 here. Oh, gosh. Yeah, Paul, good luck with that. Okay. Hey, Michael. Micho. Okay. How far is the movie? Yeah, 500 kilometers. Forget about that one. I haven't gotten it yet. It looks like the most useful of them yet, though. The Warney is the only one I have left. You got rid of them all? You sold them? You gave them away? What'd you do with them? I only have collected both glow-in-the-dark ones because, my glow-in-the-dark thing, and the D2, this one, because it's D2 in my card. I'm a my card whore. Missouri, okay, is that Missouri? Okay, Swags M390 version looks sweet. Yeah, I don't know if that small of a knife needs a super steel, in my opinion. I've never been resistant to change, and I'm about to start now. Aha! What's up, Jan? Thanks for joining. Dang, I was wondering. It looks useful. Safe travels. Okay. Hello. Okay. Newman Outdoor. Okay. Ninja. What's safe travels and Grumpus. Okay. Hey, Mark. Yeah, is it so? It's called a Mercury dime.
Ai, que vontade de respirar, de espirrar.
Probably. Let's see. It's weird how we don't have pennies anymore up here. Oh, Todd, did you guys got rid of the penny? People were proposing it under Obama, and Obama rightfully said, no, he won't do it because we lose money making pennies. But getting rid of the penny is regressive. In other words, it hurts poor people more because when you round up or round down or whatever, once shakes out, it affects poor people disproportionately. So, Gargawana, how do? Huh? Oh, 700 kilometers. Okay, I thought it was over 500. Hey. Okay.
Ele falou o quê?
Minimalists are made for giveaway. I see.
Trip? Que isso?
Wow. Yes, it's an amount. Okay. Hollywood. Have you ever had the CR? Have you ever Thistle, the button lock that unlocks the liner? No, I only have the Kershaw Thistle. Yeah. Oh yeah. I think. Do you mean the Kershaw Thistle? I do have that. I think you mean the Kershaw. I'll show it to you. Okay. By the way, this is a 92. I don't know why it's so mint. I don't know what's special about a 92. Was 92 the year that they didn't print enough? No, then never mind. That wasn't it. And here we've got an Australian dollar. An Australian dollar. I mean, these coins are so ridiculous. 1 ounce of silver? Get the heck out of here. How could an ounce of silver be 1 Australian dollar? That doesn't even make sense. So obviously this has to be worth more than an Australian dollar, because I mean, an Australian dollar is what, like 25
Amor,
cents?
esse foi o meu sorteio que eu ganho de moeda? Ai, por que você não falou? Eu tô aqui viajando. Você não falou para mim que era meu. Mai, moeda. Mai. Eu tô aqui viajando, você não diz nada.
Okay. Do you mean this, the Kershaw? This is... It doesn't say. I think you mean this. And yeah, so if you look inside... Ooh, I forgot to set up the rest of the lights.
My giveaway.
Okay. Okay, where did I put it? Okay, yeah, here. So let's see if I can...
Aí tá ótimo para ver.
So there's the liner lock, and then you press the button and it moves it out of the way up until about there, and then you got to release it for the rest of it. Now, this is sort of the wannabe smock, if you will, because the smock is the same thing. It's actually the compression lock. If you can see the compression lock right back there, and then you actuate it with this button, and then you've got this cutout here, and that's what allows it to close. So it's not at all unlike, and it's a cool little knife. And sadly, I believe they just recently discontinued it. It's got decent action. It's kind of fun. It has its own sort of fidget factor to it. So, and if you time it just right, you can sort of do it like that, you know? And let's see. Yeah, it's not... Anyway, it doesn't have that strong of a detent. I think that's what you mean. If that's what you mean, I don't know. Let me see. What a win for Pro X. Yeah. What year was the dime? It is 1951. Let me see. Not even 41, excuse me. 1941. I need to get a loop. It's over there. I should keep the loop handy. Oh, wait. I've got... Yeah, 1941. Does that mean it's a mercury dime? Hold on, let's see what's on the back here. Just e pluribus unum. Anyway, let's see if you can.
Isso. Não.
No?
Não. Fica embaçado.
Never mind. Sorry. Okay. That was the. Okay, let me catch up. Here was the dime, 1941. 461 miles. Okay. That's like from here to San Francisco, just about. It'll took me 5 breaks to be sure, 8 to 9 miles. Squirrel. Okay, yeah, that's how far my son lives from me. Yeah. Okay. Okay, yeah, that's what you meant. Kershaw. But it's holidays, not slow. Pale Northern Cook to the southwest. There's better food down in the south too. So, I mean, it's a one-hander for sure. You know, it's like I said, it stops there, and then the rest of it you have to shut. So, and it was only like $13 too. 8CR, I think. It doesn't say, but I think it's 8CR. I don't think it was less than 8CR, but it was really, really, really inexpensive. Okay, let's see. Oh, come on. Let's try to get this to show. Yeah, that should be a mercury dime. Does the head side have a figure with a winged helm? Oh, is that what it is? Oh, you're absolutely right. It's 100%. It's a mercury dime. Thank you. It really is. I thought it was a woman, like a goddess or something, but yes, indeed, it's absolutely a mercury dime. Thank you for telling me that. Dang, I said to myself, I'm going to mention it. I'm going to show the coins and see if these guys know. You guys have so much knowledge. It's crazy. That's really cool that you guys know stuff like that. At least you will be near family. Yeah. Hey, man, don't have money to get one, but if anyone wants a cormorant, they are available on Kaiser's. Oh my gosh, I don't have any money right now. I'm gonna wait for the White Mountain Knives exclusive micarta with M390 or something like, I can't remember, some super steel. There's a 94 bird that is worth about 15K. Good lord, it is the God Mercury, right? 15K. Yes, with my mom for Christmas. I think the cormorant looks gross. It does. It is a horribly, horribly, horribly ugly knife. You're 100% correct. I agree with you. But for me,
I like this knife.
The fidget factor on this knife is literally is the best. You've got your flipper, front flipper, middle finger, thumb, Spidey drop, you name it. This has every single deployment method in existence thus far. There's nothing you can't do, as well as opening it with the lock itself. So this is literally the king. And now, yes, it is an incredibly ugly blade shape. The scales are stupid ugly. I mean, putting X's, it just looks ridiculous. Black and white, boring. I mean, it really is an astoundingly bad execution, but they don't have fully flush screws, but they are recessed enough that it's almost flush. So there's a ton that they did do right with this. So I definitely 100% recommend it, in spite of its looks. But I think that Spyderco's are stupid ugly too. There's the PM2, and it wasn't until I got it that I realized the action is quite good, and I do like it. The Delica, it's a very ugly. Well, the Delica is not quite as ugly. I don't like backlocks, but I'm surprised at how good the action is. Let me catch up real quick. That makes it worthwhile.
Tá fazendo a comparação, é?
I have a 43 nickel. Okay, yeah, couldn't tell you if that's. I only know a few coins that are worth. Indeed, things happening always a purpose. Yeah, hopefully. Then again, life is Monticello. What about Monticello? So many deployment methods on the king of gas station knives. I don't understand. Why is it a gas station knife? Because of the X's? Because it's ugly? I mean, Spydercos are ugly. Oh, the Delica is every bit as ugly. Uglier. Not as fit either. Yeah. But it's also a much older knife.
Oh.
What about damn designs? I mean, the thing is, for what it is, I mean, it was deliberate, you know? Oh, by the way, this is from Paul. Paul made this at Ducure de l'Âme. He sent this with some stickers, which I think is really nice. I did do an unboxing on this, so I forget to wear it as often as I probably ought. 1936 nickel. Okay. I mean, they meant to make the damn designs look that way, like the gin and what Casey showed tonight. Yeah, it's ugly, but it's deliberate. Let me give you an example. This is one of my most EDC'd knives, is the Sanren Mu SRM. Now, this reminds me of the direction that Kershaw started taking, where it's kind of more Tron and Space Age. Personally, I don't like it. I think it's tacky, ugly. It's trying too hard. However, again, it is deliberate. I mean, they meant to do that. So for what it's worth, it does have a very unique look. It's got a very strong design ethic, you know, like what they're going for. It's got a screaming sharp edge. 9225 GI is what it's called. It's got a fantastic action, and the axis style lock, which I don't know what they call theirs, is fantastic. On occasion, I can middle finger flick it. Sometimes I can. Sometimes I can't. Usually I can't. On occasion I can. Which is, again, if they just increase that a little bit. But again, they went for form over function instead. So, you know, and just too many cutouts. I don't know, just very Tron-y. Again, this is similar to that. Damn designs are going for that very angular space age kind of look. And yeah, it's ugly. I may personally dislike it, but I'm not going to therefore say it's only ugly. Like, to a lot of people, this might look very cool. Again, I'm not very adventurous. You know, like for example, I like this. I mean, that's how boring I am. I think this looks beautiful. That dark brown wood color. So how original am I? You know, I'm not, probably less likely. I'm just kind of old and crusty. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, I agree. They're probably pretty ugly. But I'll be honest, when that Kaiser came out with that Tesla truck looking one, I almost got it, or the budget version of it, because it's just so strange looking. That's what it says on the nickel. Did we just become best friends? Oh, you guys. You guys are bonding over ugly knives. Nice brisket guy. Fits. Oh, yeah. Thank you. So you guys can order these, I'm sure, from him. The Cormorant is okay. Let me see what this says. The Cormorant is one of those. It's boldly ridiculous, but it does work. It's like they went for it. Glad they took the chance. This is. Thank you for saying this. Kind of what I'm getting at. You know, it's bold. What I was going to say is, as much as I don't like the way this looks, they're trying something new, and one day they'll hit on something that we're going to take for granted. You know, one day, Spyderco let this kind of ugly thing become something, whatever it is. most people still agree it remains ugly to this day. This isn't ugly. Very functional, and the holes do work. It's one of the few hollow ground Spydercos, which, anyway, I've said it before. I just anytime get a hollow grind if you can. I'm a big believer. Now I get it. Spyderco wants to make tough knives, so they do a full flat, which is a good what do you call that, compromise. But I mean, the sliciness of this thinness beyond, it's unbelievable. It's fantastic. Now, likewise, this is a hollow, and yeah, I mean, this is really ugly, but it's very functional. All of it works. Did you forget how long we've been buds? Oh, no, I think he means in terms of you guys suddenly bonding over how much you don't. Very good looking bracelet. Yeah, David, this is from Du Coeur et des Lampes. Leather and belts, or belts and leather. Paul here in the chat, he made them. I think you can reach out to him. Maybe they knew. Hold on.
Hey, Juan.
That well. Welcome. And look awesome. Would have broken the knife industry. Yeah, I mean, who knows? But what were they thinking with the X's? I mean, which is why with Gen 2, they just came out with the stripes, which is still ugly and boring. But putting 2 X's, how could that ever look cool? Like, that just, it almost looks like they're like, oh, we gave up on our design. But again, it's bold. It's on purpose. It's functional. Yeah, an X is definitely functional in terms of grip. So I don't know. Just letting people know, because there are lots that want it. Yes, no, I appreciate it. I want Gen 2. I absolutely want Gen 2. I love this Gen 1. If I get the micarta, I might sell this. Hey, 1 minute. Thanks for joining us. I sent you a picture of my Neutron wood scale. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm going to look at those. And Kaiser horn. Exactly. I mean, you know, the Kaiser horn is borderline not that ugly. It's odd, but I wouldn't say it's ugly. Like, this is ugly, and this is overly adventurous. This is ugly.
No. No.
Her favorite is Spyderco.
Perfect.
So her favorite is Spyderco. Spyderco.
Spyderco. Go. Spyderco.
And then I have more. I have the Watt. Well,
vou fazer merchan. Merchan de Spyderco.
Oops, there goes. Oh, whoa. Okay. Here's the Ikuchi Spyderco. Which is like a Japanese style tanto. And this is not only pretty much my favorite Spyderco, it's one of my favorite EDC knives and one of my favorite fidget knives. It's wonderfully flickable. It's very neutral handle design. It's neutral, but it's not, and it's blocky, but it's not. It looks angular, but it's not. As you can see, there's lots of curves, and I swear to God, it's so fucking ergonomic. It's so frigging perfect in hand. And the ramp, and I love this sort of quasi triangle, quasi leaf shape, quasi Warncliffe. It's got an ever so slight curve, so it's not really much of a Warncliffe. It's got that steep drop point. It's the Watu, which is based on an East African knife design, part of their ethnic series. And yeah, these are the Taiwanese made ones. I think most Spyderco people tend to think that, frankly, the Taiwanese Spydercos are their favorites. Here is, who did 1 minute? Did you do this? Who did this? Somebody put the hole in there, drilled the hole, and stonewashed it and everything. No flipper delete. I love flippers are my second favorite way of deploying after middle finger. So I wouldn't get rid of the flipper delete. It is too big and it gets in the way, especially on the mini when you're trying to close it. It kind of sucks, but it still works. And everyone loves this. So, and the mini is a great little EDC size. Let me catch up. I know I'm way behind.
Mm-hmm.
Love my smock. I'm telling you. I'd say, I shouldn't say that. Well, it's a toss-up. These are probably two of my favorite Spydercos because I do love the smock even more so. But I love this blade shape the most. In terms of the blade shape, the grind and usefulness, this hollow grind is my favorite Spyderco. But again, because I'm partial to hollow grinds. Welcome, Paul. Those are interesting. Haven't figured out how that braid is done. You have talent. Okay. So you can see it from. Oh God, that's true. How do you do that? I would never. How do you? That is so weird. How would you braid it? It's one piece. I mean, I won't ask. It's probably a trade secret. How can you braid something that's one piece? That doesn't make any sense. I never thought about that. Thanks for pointing that out. God, you guys are so smart. I swear to God, I think I have the smartest people in the. Oh, it's okay. They all know you say hi. Okay. Leather and blades. Yes, thank you. Oh, blades. Did I say leather and belts? I did. I said belts. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Lam is blade. Sorry. I'm I've been noticing anyway. I'm kind of getting like a early onset like dementia. I'm doing really weird. Like everyone's forgetful. Everyone misspeaks. But just in this last year, I've noticed like more than slip up, like full blown like cognitive errors. It's slightly scary. Unusual is good. Let designers push limits. I agree. Materials, engineering tolerances. Exactly. Scott is really doing a great job of really kind of spelling out kind of what I'm trying to say. But yeah, like doing the more of the cutouts, coming up with these different designs. Like again, I wish they didn't do this, but giving it that straight line, again, they're trying to do something with it. Now, it's turns out it's not all that functional, but you have to, the whole point of experimentation is that you have to fail. You have to be afraid not to fail. Yes, the technique is simple. Of course. Magic braid. Wow. It is indeed. I don't know why I didn't think that it's hard to, I don't know why. I just looked at it and assumed you'd braid it and then close it off. So they were thinking frag pattern and gave up after 4 lines. They were like, I'm tired of this, Grandpa. Where'd it go? I'm tired of this, Grandpa. All right, you can call it in. I dig the horn. Yeah, see, there's some people who would actually very much like it. It does look goofy. It looks sort of obtuse and clumsy, but in some ways it could look quite nice. Lady likes what the lady like. Spyderco. Você gosta.
I like. Mas eu gosto daquela outra faca dos olhos de X.
Horn is better than the cormorant. I would agree with you there. Think they're messing with us? These people buy anything? No, it's too competitive. There's too doggone many knives. they're really putting it out there to try and catch people's eye. Like, oh, that looks different. No, I don't think so. No, it's way too competitive. It's way too risky to just put out something like bizarre and be like, oh, they'll buy anything. No, I think they're putting a lot of time in. And correct me if I'm wrong, this is a very post-computer design. I mean, I'm not saying you couldn't have designed something like this pre-computer, but it's really post-computer with the kinds of programs and machining that we have now that makes this much more viable and much, you got it from me. Oh, the Akuchi. I got the Akuchi from you. Okay. Yeah, and I have to fix the detent on the Akuchi because remember you were having trouble because you've got the finger injury. I do not have a finger injury, but the Akuchi is basically impossible. The detent is way too strong, which a lot of people have. What happened to the Akuchi? Oh, here it is. Let's see if I can do it. Okay, I got it. But watch. The next time, see? I can't do it anymore. So I have to fix that detent. Yep. And now my finger's toast. So I'm going to have to fix that detent. And I know there's videos on it on YouTube. I'm not going to, well, we'll see. I'm not going to bother with it for the time being. I like the Cormorant. Wait, why? I like the Cormorant. Price ruined it for me. I would love those scales on a budget blade. Wait, I mean, it's G10. It's I think S35. Hold on. I believe it's S35 VN, G10. I mean, hell, that's more than Spyderco offers half the time. I mean, half the time Spyderco is FRN. This is S30V with G10, and this is more expensive than this. Some people like S30V better because it has better edge retention. Watu has a cool primitive. Exactly. There's something, very primal about it. I agree. There's something beautiful to it. This might be easily one of the ugliest knives out there because it looks clunky. But to me, sometimes it's so ugly, it's gorgeous. Nope, don't do miss. What? Nope.
Foi dito isso.
Mods. Oh, don't do mods. Oh, okay, yeah. It was somebody. It's another channel here in Orange County. Looks like BJ Hill or Justin's work. No, it's not. No offense to the guy. He admits he did a very sloppy job with it. It's very, very rough. I think it was one of the first times he was doing it. So it's not their work. It's a messy. It's for sure in my top 10 smock. So, yeah. It's in my top 10 all time. Yeah, I agree. Certainly in my top 3 or 4 favorite fidget. In terms of grind, it's in my top. Yeah, so it makes it in a lot of I want a smock. I know. I got this smock used. This is the Knife Joy exclusive 20 CV with the I think these are the G10 scales or whatever. It's not that peel ply carbon fiber, and it's a 20 CV. So for the same price. I think so too. Trade secrets. It's one of their ethnic series, right? Good knife, Jason. One of the good knife, Jason. One of the ones I would say for sure is totally worth the money. Yeah, you mean the smock is worth the money? Just about. Magic braid. Okay. My language skills were the first thing I noticed to start fleeting when I wasn't using them. Oh, absolutely. I lived out in Germany and I've just lost so much. Hollywood. That fits into too many conspiracies to tell you. Mostly vax stuff. Won't touch it medically. As professional, I could probably get in trouble. But memory and cognitive issues. Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. That's scary. You're right. That absolutely is a thing. You're right. Absolutely. Because it's passing the blood-brain barrier, which they said wasn't going to happen. And then immediately it did. Oh, damn. That's too bad. But very hard to catch one here. Yeah. The horn. Just looks like it has a purpose. The Cormorant puts a more normal tip on the unusual blade. Looks weird together. Yeah, indeed. It is a bad Frankenstein type knife. It just seems like they put it together with a bunch of other designs. It's tough, right? The Ikuchi detail. Oh, God, it's brutal.
Amor, vou no banheiro, tá? Já volto.
Vai. I already have enough memory and attention. Squirrel. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I already had bad ADD, but it's just like I do weird things now, like that are just like out of my mind, like bumbling old people. I mean, like like how I used to tease my parents, and you'd be like, what? And I'm starting to do stuff like that. And again, I am getting older too, but I don't know. It's weird. It's just like I catch myself saying things, doing things like no, that's not it. Like just like flat out using the wrong words, which we all do, but it's more of an extreme kind of thing. Like I'll use just a way off term. It's just like, I'd like to have the Y2 in my Carta. Yeah, I'd like to have anything in my Carta. I'm not a carbon fiber person at all. This has that peel ply. The Kuchi has that peel ply. The Smock usually does, but this has a very smooth. I think it's a G10. But yeah, I always prefer my Carta. This is my Carta. It's my favorite type, and by a long shot as well. Okay. Oh, hey, Lancelot, thanks for joining us. Spyderco's doing an ethnic Canadian series. They're going to charge an extra 29 cents on every dollar. Jesus. Well, do you remember, what was it, a few years ago, where the Canadian dollar was more than the US dollar? You remember that? I think it was the first time in history. And how does the Canadian dollar compare to the Australian dollar, though? That's what I'm wondering, because this is a Australian dollar here. I'm pretty sure the Australian dollar is even weaker. I'm pretty okay. Some good working progress today. Okay, ethnic belt knives. Well, I mean, yeah, like I thought it was serious at first, like the Canadian belt knife, and like the roach type knives. I think are also all Canadian style. What else is a Canadian knife? Awesome Ninja, what are you working on? I'd rather have the hay one. What? I'd rather have the hay one. I've noticed increased emotional lability, maybe irritability, maybe especially anger. Also, word loss. Yeah, it's personally so far praying that's all. Yeah. Here's the thing: we don't know about the long-term effects. I mean, what if there's a higher incidence of dementia, of Alzheimer's, Parkinson's? What if it's correlated? I'm not saying it's going to cause it, but if it's correlated, that's something to know about. I mean, we're sending these spike proteins into the blood, and it's crossing into the brain. And if it lodges in the brain, I don't know, man. That second shot nearly friggin' killed me. I'll tell you that much. And I am not looking forward to the booster. If they start pushing the booster, I don't know, man. That second shot almost killed me. They're just going to a bunch of Gromans and drill holes in the blade. Oh, I forgot. I lost track of what we're. They're going to buy a bunch of grommets? I don't know. Sorry, I can't follow you guys all the time. Joe, I'm making a hatchet for my other Christmas. Well, making a handle and putting a second-hand barn sale head on it. Cool. Wow, that must be cool to just go to a barn sale and find an axe head, And I'm sure you've seen it. You can go to YouTube and just put in like axe restoration. I mean, there's a German guy who found like 100-year-old axe, and boy, did he bring it back to life. I mean, some of these high, what do you call it? The tempered steel? What is it when hardened? When they pound it and they harden it that way. some of these tool steels, boy, will they last pretty much forever. I rust it all to hell, and he just sands it down, and they just look amazing. Yeah, I noticed my army buddies on console are exceptionally angsty and quick to anger and yelling. I don't know. Versus stability. Oh, lability versus stability. I hadn't heard that word. I'm sorry. Gosh. I-ability or lability? Gosh, I'm sorry. I somehow missed an entire word. Like I didn't know that word. Lability is outward expression of inappropriate emotions. Oh, lability. Gosh, thanks for teaching me. I don't know how I went through life and didn't know that. I mean, I studied linguistics, for God's sakes. When they were chill and nice before. Jeez. I mean, I was always a spaz, so I don't know if I've changed in mood. I always had an anger problem, you know? Fucking Korean, for one thing. Ninja sounds great. The antique steel is hard to beat. Yeah, well, there you go. I'm sure he'll love it. Those old steels, they did the old school. They just pounded the fucking shit out of it and make it harder than fuck. I don't remember breakfast. Oh, good Lord. I know. Well, that's not new to me, but there's other things that do seem new. And I'm not too thrilled now that I think about it. Now I'm going to fucking I'm going to be already had booster here because of work. Yeah, see? If they start pushing it, I might have to, I don't know. Grimsmo, Northam, Groman. Okay. Don't know that much about Grom. Sorry. I only know Grimsmo because of the Norseman. Yuppers budget. Those are the biggest things I've noted.
Oh, Matt's faction.
Hey, Matt. It's about time.
Hey,
all
Matt.
the keister. I was the same with the second shot, not getting booster. Yeah, man. That shit fucked me up. I thought for sure I was going to die. Labile? Wow, really? Labile? Labile? Jan, I sent Joe a pic of your hatchet. Oh, cool. Send me one. Send it to me, Jason. I want to see it. Groman is a brand of knives known for their Canadian belt knife style. I see. It's the epitome of outdoors knife, and you'd probably know it if you saw it. Okay. I doubt it. You'd be surprised how little I know about knives. I mean, or it's obvious that I don't. Okay, on a personal level, but mainly because of some semi-autistic tendencies. I have a daughter with Asperger's. Okay. Yeah, some people have challenged me like, dude, mate, are you on the spectrum? Because your fucking social skills suck. A 3-year-old friendship was ended a month ago with a simple misunderstanding. I don't know. Wow, that, man, communication. Give it some time. Let it cool off. Oh, that's so awkward. That's so terrible. Thank you. You know, time heals all wounds. I don't know. I'm autistic with ADHD and OCD. Oh, really? Oh, wow. Well, you can really pour into a trade, a craft, artisan. I mean, sports. There's some, as long as you're functional, as I can see, you've got language skills, then sometimes it works to your benefit in certain kinds of ways. You got it, labile. Easy expression, emotion, overexpression. Wow, that's so neat. Yeah, ADHD squirrel. I had no reaction to any of the 3 shots yet. Okay. Yeah, age plays a factor. Your immune system plays a factor. I have friends who, most of them had no reaction at all, but a lot of them are immunocompromised, if you know what I mean. So they had no reaction. So I don't have the strongest immune system because I wasn't breastfed. Again,
Not this beautiful.
Okay, thanks, Jason. I work on the internet. Me in real life, I shut down fast. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. I overcompensate, Grumpy. I reacted to first shot. Okay.
Thank you, one. Que espirro feio.
She has allergies.
Amor, mostra minhas moedas. Eu quero ver minhas moedas. De onde elas são? De que ano? Me explica. Todas eu não vi, eu não reparei direito. É de que ano?
Sim, eu vou te mostrar depois, tá?
Tá bom, eu quero ver mais. Olha, é muito bonito.
Isso
Caramba.
é dólar de Austrália.
De Austrália? Que
Mas
legal.
é tudo prata, é tudo prata.
Ai, que incrível.
Tem
Eu participo,
99% prata.
eu participo de outro sorteio de moedas. Eu fiz, eu
Sim?
comentei. Sim.
Tá.
Hum.
Steele said, no, it's a mercury dime. This is a mercury dime. This is a wheat
Thank you,
penny.
Dave.
This is
Uhum.
a 1961 proof. This, I don't know. It's a 1992. Just looks like a mint quarter. I don't know if mint quarters have any real value, do they? I mean, there's nothing special about 92, is there? Yeah, I don't think so. There's only 1 year where they had a short. I think 2008 or 2007 or whatever. They didn't print that many coins because the economy crashed. That whole thing. Anyway, do you want me to open a machete or not? Yeah, I'm assuming it's literally just loose in this envelope. Uh, so I don't imagine there's any particular special value to this. I mean, it's probably just something, again, it's a giveaway. It's one of the things he had laying around. So, okay, so I'm finished charging the
Hum.
Albite. So,
Cara, é muito legal isso.
oh
Olha,
my gosh,
nossa,
look at how bright that is.
muito forte.
É super forte. So this is
Nossa,
what was it, TRI, total reflective interior or something like that. I mean, for a tiny light like this, that is astounding. Let me look. Ow.
oh,
I mean, that is an incredible amount of lumens. Let me see. Actually, it probably says on here what the lumens are. 150 lumens. Oh, it's a low mode too. Oh, okay, there's a low mode. And then bam. Okay, cool.
isso é de China?
6 hours. 6 hours on low.
Coceira na mão.
É de China, sim. Por quê?
Parece de boa qualidade.
Okay, I hear you. I hear you, budget in person. I do not like being by people. I think I do, but I've been told my people skills are shit. Like, I'm just kind of insensitive and rude, and like I don't go through niceties. I'm not. I'm really impolite. Uh, yeah, I'm just like I don't say not like when people sneeze, you say bless you. Like never. I just refuse. Hey, Brent, Hinder Collector's here, and he bought a house with all his knives. Actually, just kidding. He didn't. He just bought another Hinderer. You mean some people actually like other people in person? I think I do. I think I do. I try to be a people person, but I might be fooling myself. I certainly get nervous and then I get chatty and I act obnoxious. Not trying to start conspiracy, but yeah, that 3-year-old friendship was with an army buddy who games he started getting more and more agitated over the shop mandate for the army, etc. I'm worried. Ooh, that's not good. Okay. Oh, right, because they're forcing everyone. But I mean, they've been forcing shots on military personnel forever. I mean, good lord. I remember when anyway, I won't go into it. You weren't supposed to know. Jeez. I'm back. Was fetching some frozen confections. Oh, jeez. Okay. I don't eat sweets, so. Hola, Lancelot. I got one of those little lights from JB. It's so useful. I cannot wait. I'm really excited. Like I said, I had to replace my old EDC mini flashlight. And anyway, budget, no doubt. Me and some of my friends started a non-for-profit to help with religious. Oh, cool. Are you on Facebook? I'm gonna have to reach out to you about that and see how that works. Got a Rovivon for my brother who's checking it out. Pretty sweet light. Okay, how much are those? I think they're expensive, aren't they? No, it's too close to Christmas, but I hope I get one for. Bro, buy a house, a car. Bro, sell all your hinderers and buy a freaking mansion, bro. Okay, so I think I'm going to go ahead and unbox machete. This was what, 20 bucks? It was really cheap. Hold on, how much was it? And I only wanted to do it because I have just about every single other schrade machete, and I kind of want to test it out. And some tests have shown schrade's metal steel to not be the worst, their heat treat not to be the worst. Furthermore, I have very few bolo machetes, and I'm intrigued by the design. It seems extremely useful. Now, admittedly, this is a 3CR13, but I have several schrades with 1095, and apparently it's not all that bad. No, on Instagram. Okay, so no, you do not have an Instagram. Okay. He used to be so chill. It's not even funny how angst he got after the shots. Golly. That's scary. I'm out, y'all. Okay, good night. Thanks for joining us, Jason, and thanks for sending the pictures. I'll take a look at them later. Oh, and thanks for the texture. I'll have to do Zach's thing too. I need to remember. I've just been running around all day. $25, 650 lumens. That's not bad. That's actually a really good price. That's a lot of lumens. That's a lot of lumens per dollar or whatever. Is that what we're going to start talking about? Lumens per dollar? I'm not surprised. It's pretty crazy right now with government stuff like the budget, so the stress alone could be the cause. Yeah. Oh, you are on Instagram, not on Facebook. Okay, so I'll reach out to you there. Thanks. Okay. Good night. Okay, and I'm going to unbox this. I'm wondering if I should use. I'm gonna start using my. Where did I have my Gerber dime on my. Where did I put my wallet? Where did I put my wallet? I know it was here a second ago. Hang on. I think a second ago. Ah, there it is. So I got this thing, this Kydex holder for the Gerber dime / the squirt. It fits either, and the funny thing is, I paid $20 for this damn Kydex thing, and I got this on sale for like $6 or $7. These are about 20 usually, 15 to 20 when they're on sale. The irony of it, but I did it anyway, and I'm glad because I carry them less often when I have to put them on my belt. I just decide not to bother because I had another little mini. I like these mini ones. I'm more likely to carry it. That whole notion of the best tool is the one you have on you. The full size multi tools. I just don't carry around. I have one in the car, but I just don't carry it around with me. It's just too much. God, I sound whiny, don't I? But seriously, though, it gets to be really annoying. Okay, so that's the sheep's foot, and there is the package cutter. So I'm going to go ahead and use this because I've been sort of doing big old fails with these.
Já abre.
Me Gisele, o que é que eu faço agora?
Okay, zip protector.
Ok.
Bolo, schrade bolo. It's got an interesting like oxide type finish on it. It looks kind of cool. See that forward cant? That just looks really useful. So for those who don't know, machete designs, thickness, etc., evolve according to the vegetation. So bolos, where are they from? Like Southeast Asia. So more jungle areas in terms of like Southeast Asia, they have like parangs, bolos, things like that, where it's more chopping versus like Latin America, where it's more the thin machete. So, there's an interesting relationship there in terms of its evolution. The you know, it's comfortable in hand. It's got a good swell. It's got a little thing there where you can do more chopping. It definitely has a hollow grind, which is one of the odd things that Schrade does. They put hollow grinds on their machetes and on their choppers, which is probably not the best idea. I don't think it's a phenomenal idea, but comes with fire starter plus diamond sharpening stone, which is single-sided, and these fit into the so fits in there. This is fairly large, and you can pull it apart too. So it attaches both there and on the back. So that's kind of cool. Looks like they've got some whatchamacallit, leg straps or scout carry type straps, I guess. And this presumably is where you're supposed to put this. Pretty tight fit. Definitely a very tight fit anyway. So, I don't know. Doesn't fit in there all that great. Let's see. It's got this kind of almost like a sling. And then what's weird here is open here. There's a button. So let's see. And another button there. Okay. So there's two little open buttons there. So no plastic, or there's a bit of a plastic insert. Not very, very stiff. Okay. And, the worst. Oh, no. It is a button. I was afraid it might be Velcro. It does have Velcro too, but actually, it's not the worst sheath. I think Schrade sheaths are not the worst by any means. It needs to be tightened. There's a lot of play there, but well, there you go. So there's that. Not the worst sheath by any means. I think out of all the Schrades I've gotten thus far, I want to try the Priscilla first, but this looks really, really, really useful to me because it looks like more of a chopper. It looks nice and thick. But again, our environment needs probably more choppers, more so than machetes. So let's see. Anyway. So there you go. Something like that. I'm not sure how well that'll work, but I should probably tighten this up too. So Okay, that was way too much. Yeah, it's a little bit better. So it fits a little bit tighter now. Probably could be a little tighter than that even. Sorry, I know I'm missing out on all the comments here. There we go. Perfect. Oops. Maybe not.
Oh,
There we go. Okay. Perfect. Now it's nice and really tight there. Okay. Sorry about that. Let's catch up.
yeah.
Okay. I know I'm way behind. I'll try my best to catch up as soon as possible. Oh, good Lord, you guys. That's a great deal on such a light. My 1K lumen Olight was like 775. Okay, God, 1K. Is it a throw? One of the throw? It's not the warrior, is it? I'm worried with all this stuff going on. Coof not ending, etc. Rovivon is my personal favorite EDC light. Which one you get him? Farthest I've explored machete so far is Ontario. Okay, yeah. I have the Ontario 12-inch, and I do have the cold steel kukri. I got another variation of it, and I have officially misplaced my very first machete I ever got was the cold steel kukri, and it is misplaced in this room somewhere, which is scary to think. Oh, the A1X. It's wrapped up. Yeah, you can't look at it now. Wow, it blocked. Yeah, it blocked me posting the website. So yeah, if you need info, reach out, please. We're here to help if we can. And like I said, I've been boosted. It's the forcing that's wrong. Okay, so 1 minute. Write out the website. So like put like www and then like put space and then put the domain name and then space. Write out .com like that, and it should work. Both of those work fine for the average user too. Yeah, only mods can post links. You need to be a mod 1 minute. Yeah, I need to make. Yeah, okay. It blocks all URLs. Correct. Love the Gerber dime. The little pliers come in handy. Absolutely. Again, it's got good spring thing on it. The knife is decently sharp. The package opener works just fine. I didn't want to pay 10 times more for the Leatherman. I'm anxious about my trip tomorrow. Hard to sleep. Oh, good. I know. Yeah, I know you're getting ready for your trip. That's why he's up so early. Matt wasn't a link as such. Spread out words. Oh, really? Even the words? Yeesh. I'm still using my old Maglite Mini. I carried one of those Maglites and Maglite Minis forever. I carried a Swiss Army, like all through high school and college. It was a mini Maglite, Swiss Army Classic SD, and a space pen, a Fisher space pen, all through the 90s. Used the word dot. Okay, sorry. Have you used the Priscilla for more than keystring? Yeah, I have. Oh, Matt got one too, right? I haven't been able to take it out yet because I haven't been out. So Matt probably has. I think he's pretty close to wildlife or wild areas or whatever. No, only keistered it. Great. I like it. Kukri looking. Yeah. Don't be. You can do nothing. Oh. Okay. Love Maglites. Have 4 of the 2D. Oh, really? Those old school, those 4 of the 2D LED great ones for vehicles. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if they up their game to LEDs, I'm sure they're pretty good. Apparently, we can't use the word dot. Oh, so they got smart to us, huh? But still, dot. I mean, anyway, Department of Transportation. That happens to me even with that. YouTube sucks. Yeah, YouTube's fascist. Oh yeah, I wrote in there, guys. All of you guys, 1 minute. Matt, you guys are Duque. You guys are all content creators. Reach out to George Sprave from it's JOERG Sprave SPRAEVE. Look up FairTube because YouTube. See, that's one of the reasons, for example, why like doing giveaways, all the ads. I mean, they really forced they really forced YouTube content creators to make their own income basically like on the side, so to speak. And they're taking the lion's share of the ads. It's outrageous. YouTube is fascist and they are exploiting our content. They're exploiting our labor. They're exploiting our passions. Yeah, that's why I'm really trying not to pour much of my personal money into this, which is why I'm not getting stuff so per se just for the channel. Like I still want to like actually like it because we're essentially supporting YouTube and they're filthy rich. And by filthy, I mean disgusting and evil. Y'all should check out the custom machete in my story on Instagram. Okay, it's one I just make a sheath for. Oh, okay. The big mag light can do more than just light. Well, remember, that started becoming a big problem. Police were braining people and like maiming them and all kinds of horrible stuff. So they actually started moving away from them even back before the whole LED thing. Got an LED light upgrade from a big light. It's amazing, almost 90 lumens with 400 on the concentration point. Okay.
Amor, tá me escutando?
Okay.
Charles.
Sim.
Eu preciso ir. Me acorda amanhã, por favor?
Tá, para CrossFit?
Sim.
Talvez você precisa, porque eu preciso adormecer cedo também, porque eu tenho muitas coisas amanhã cedo, tá?
Tá, se você estiver acordado, me acorda às 5 horas, eu tenho que fazer, eu tô sozinha em casa, mas Bernardo, minha mãe viajou, tá bom?
Ah, sério?
Então tá. Sim, então tá.
Hey,
Boa noite.
Troy, thanks for joining us.
Good night, people.
Boa noite. All right, she's going to bed. She's got to get up early for CrossFit training. Canta. Vai, canta.
Aleluia, aleluia. Eu já apertei o botão de sair aqui. Eu tô travada. Né? Você quer que eu...
Não pode sair? Okay. All right, she has gone to sleep and yep, Matt. I tried it a couple times in sentences and nope, we won't go through. Okay, yeah, sorry, man. Yeah. It's annoying. Well, once again, it's just it's fascist tube, you know? Budget guy, my backup light is a 3 AAA mag light, tail switch with 2 brightnesses and a strobe function I've had for like 10 years. Cool. Well, I'm glad they stepped up their game on that. One of the reasons I keep them in the vehicle, oh yeah, to brain people, great. Okay, wow, budget. That one went through. Oh, okay. Just hates me. Yeah, okay, let's see. Sweet, I got the zoom in. Huh? Sweet, I got the zoom in or out twist ones. They were my dad's, so no clue. Okay. Yeah, my dad. Yeah, my dad's had his mag light for years. It's a chopper. Go to the chopper. Okay, I used to carry the original 2 mini mag light all the time. This is better by far. Yeah. No, I carried the original for, like I said, all through the entire 90s. So I still have my 3 cell. Do you? That's cool. Yeah, I guess you could get LED upgrades for them now, which that would be cool. Getting an upgrade for it, I hope it will do it. Yeah, do it. Yeah, that would be cool. Look forward to that. Hollywood, on a scale of what's that breeze to yowzers that hurts, what's the keystring level on that bad boy? God. On this, It's a breeze because see the leaf shape. It allows for easy and gradual insertion. There's no hot spots, and it's pre-lubed. Well, except no lanyard tab, and I had to find a pouch for it. Okay, I think got my original mini mag lot here for whole lumens. I know, seriously. I didn't have a concept of what badass was because back then mag lights were it, and if you compare it to today's LEDs, I mean, those big 4-cell ones weren't even a fraction of this tiny little thing. So technology, man, it's just been time to crash. Good night, David. Hey, everyone, good night, and good luck to Paul. Yes, indeed. So okay, here we go. I did templeoftheprophets.com. Okay, Temple of the Prophets. So yes, it worked. Thank you. Did that time. Okay. You can't keep saying that. Gotta find that thing. My Spectrum stuff gets me twitchy when stuff is lost. I want to come look for Oh my god. Okay. Look, I'll try to find it. I'm sorry. I won't mention it again until I actually find it. I know. I hear you. I feel the same way. I get all crazy like that too sometimes. I just spilled rusty water on my carpet. Cool. There it is. Exactly. George Sprave. And Matt wants to know why you're keystering rusty water. Oh, anemic? Yeah, iron. Right. No, I restore old things. Right. Braining people, right? So do I are alive. Not everyone carries an extra brain. Okay. Let's see. Boa noite. Lancelot, they should having that extra brain in the pocket is nice. Or in the butt. Always prepared. No hot spots. I am dying. I know. Well lubed. Okay, David Ryder is going to win the lottery. I know, God. Those big 3-4 D cell mag lights were great door knockers. Yep. And head knockers. Haha, keystering water. It's how we conserve water in the desert. Yeah, that's. Did you like Dune? Did we already discuss this? I enjoyed it. I thought I liked it. It was a very different spin. I ended up watching it more than once, even. Yep, back in the day. Sorry, it's ORG. Com will work though and redirect. Okay, that's my kind of mag light. Is the one I upgraded. Cool. Okay, so how long has it been? Oh God, it's been an hour and a half. Time is it? It's 9 o'clock here. If you guys want to keep going, we can keep going. I think Michael Emler has been on, but I mean, he runs them regularly and he goes on endlessly. It would be nice if there were some limits as well, more contained. I think if it just goes on endlessly too, it's a little bit unfair to other people. Content-wise, I'm kind of finished. Oh, I don't know if you guys remember, I lost the screw to this, but I found it. So I've put it back now. This is the Trifolder 2 with the micarta scale. I need to get the first one because I realized the first one is actually shorter with a different blade profile or shape. And so, yeah. So I found the screw. And I'm going to have to Loctite it, obviously. But I like it nice and loose. Ooh, that's what she said, right? Okay, hour and a half, 3 hours is the minimum around here. Yeah, I don't know if I mean, I can. I don't have a problem with it. I haven't seen New Dune yet, but I have all of the others. What do you mean all of the others? So there was the David Lynch version, And then there was the Sci-Fi Channel version, which was quite good. Oh, I don't remember if it's lasted. I saw it on TV at the time, and I thought it was good because it really went into the story more thoroughly. Because I think it was like 2 or 3 episodes. It was like a mini series, I think. And I remember it being, pretty good. And then I believe they did some sequels. So I think the same cast did a couple of the novels, the sequels. Okay. Why am I going to bust a knuckle to let them know the buzzer isn't working back in the 90s? Ah, indeed. God, but you carried that thing around? These days, if you carry something like that around, they'd be like, why are you carrying that club around, sir? Do you have a lithium diesel? That would be huge with an LED. Oh, maybe. Both of those and Children of Dune. Right. That's what I meant. Children of Dune. Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm one of those people that I like the David Lynch version. Like it got really bad reviews. It tanked. It was it was a disaster at the time, but I remember I really liked it. I thought it was good. I watched it again recently. I don't know that it's really held up to the test of time. There's some parts of it that are pretty corny. He was already working on the sequel too, and then they pulled the plug because it tanked so bad. There's a lot of movies that were really good that like 2 movies that I can think of. The cinematic version of Watchmen, I thought was excellent. Zack Snyder, I thought it was fantastic. People panned it. It got so many negative reviews, which I don't know. I sense a conspiracy there, because I think Watchmen is pretty explosive in terms of what it's trying to say, its messages. And I just feel like there was sort of a media blackout on it. And the only things they talked about is, fans didn't like it. People who didn't know it were confused. It was too long. And I didn't think any of it was true. I think fans loved it. I don't know. Same thing with Zack Snyder's Sucker Punch. People didn't like that. They consider like that one of the most. That's like one of my favorite movies. Like I love Sucker Punch, and that's why I'm disappointed that a lot of his DC stuff has been just so. I have to admit, the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League, it was good, and he set up the whole Flashpoint paradox. And I'm super bummed that it doesn't looks like they canceled any future Justice Leagues, which is a shame because if they do Flashpoint Paradox, oh my God, are you kidding me? A love affair between Aquaman and Wonder Woman and just a big world war. Lois, I mean, come on, Flashpoint Paradox. I mean, they led up to it, and Zack Snyder did. They led up to it. They really should have. They got to go for it, but it's such an expensive enterprise. I don't know. You mean the first edition of the novel? You watch it monthly? Wow, you're a true fan. East Coast Bedtime. Okay, good night. Thanks for joining us. Watchmen was awesome. I agree. I haven't seen the TV show yet, though. V for Vendetta is a yearly watch for me. I've mixed feelings. It was okay. It wasn't terrible. I didn't love it. Watchmen, had to watch 3 times to get it. It's deeper than you think. Oh, absolutely. I watched it 3 times too. It's very deep. I mean, it's the only graphic novel to be included in Time's best novels of all time. It's the only graphic novel that it gets a lot of respect. It gets legit respect, and I believe deservedly so. That's why people who are like complaining about the superhero genre, like, oh no, the superhero movie. I think superhero things are very profound, and in a lot of ways, it's our modern myth. There's a great documentary about comic books and whatnot, and one of the commentators is the first person to teach a university level course on it, and it was he was at Columbia University, and they did this experimental thing one year where you went to the dean and they took proposals, and his proposal was, I'm going to teach comic books, and the dean looked at him like, Are you nuts? Are you kidding me? Like, this is Columbia. Like, this is a serious institution. We can't teach comic books. That's not serious literature. And he said, okay, I accept your decision. I'm not arguing with you. I just going to ask you a quick question. What's the Moses story? Prophet sent to save his people, gets sent down a river. They find him in a basket. And, he leads them to like, okay, now tell me what's the Superman origin myth? Kryptonian from a dying planet gets sent in a little thing and lands on Earth. And then Dean gets quiet. And he sits there in silence for a little while. He's like, okay, approved. So that was the first university course taught on comic books. It was like comic book and modern mythology or something like that. Star Trek Troopers corny house, but I still loved it. Well, let me tell you what, Todd. Star Trek Troopers, that Paul Verhoeven, he overdid it with the ham, and I wish he hadn't, because it was actually very deep. Because if you'll notice, the good guys, the humans, have Nazi uniforms because it's revisionist. It's the idea, well, what if we're the bad guys? It's actually very deep. What if the bugs are the good guys and the humans are the bad guys? And that's supposed to be the subtext there. And it just kind of got lost because he just hammed it up a little too much. And book, love Dune, yeah. So you've read all those other ones where frigging what's his name turns into a huge worm, and reigns for 1,000 years, and they have like an intergalactic jihad and all that. I love how they set it up in this new version, though. They really are gonna do the whole thing, I think. Would you like to know more? I don't get it. Love that new Steam? Sorry. I thought it was a great commentary, the book. You mean Dune? Heinlein wrote a great book there. Oh, you mean Star Trek Troopers? Oops. We talked satire here. I don't know. Hey, Winchester. No, we're talking about Star Trek Troopers, and yeah, he almost did it like satire. I think he outsmarted the audience, unfortunately. I think he overdid it, and it was too tongue-in-cheek. Ain't no way the bugs are good guys. They invaded Earth. Anyway. Yes, Winchester. Satire and keystring. Oh, good Lord, of course. Starship Troopers. Uh-oh, my battery is low. And you might want to plug in. Okay, let me see. What are we on here? I'm on. Come on. Show me. No, wrong. Is it going to tell me? Do I hover over it? 10%. Okay, yeah. Read all the Dune books, even the ones done by his son. Cool. Oh, yeah. You really did. So you have the whole story arc. I mean, don't they have like a whole bunch of prequels where they like go into like who the Mentats are and the what are those people that experiment with the clones, and then they clone Duncan, right? And he ends up being the bodyguard for what's his name when he turns into an earthworm, or excuse me, he doesn't turn into an earthworm, but he turns into one of the whatchamacallits. Well, you know better than me anyway. This thing is out of control. What the hell? Ay. Okay. And the Bene Gesserit, like how they are behind the scenes creating him, like through their breeding programs and all that stuff. Okay, hold on. What am I looking for? Someone said something. And no, not someone said something. I need to get the battery, the electricity going here. Excuse me. Okay, he keeps saying Star Trek Troopers. Well, we're going back and forth between Star Oh, do I? Starship. Oh my God. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm acting like an old fart. I was getting keistered sideways. Yeah. I'm I'm losing it. I think I'm losing my mind. The the history is neglected in the movie. They were at war on multiple planets before the story starts. Starship. Oh, okay. I don't know the novels. So the Tlileshu, yeah. I read several of the Brian Herbert ones. Oh, really? The Wisecrack channel and their Show Me the Meaning podcast covered Paul Rowan's American filmography. Good stuff. Yeah, it's a mixed bag. I mean, Showgirls, I mean, I remember seeing it at the time, I was like, this might be the best, worst movie ever. And I think time has shown it's a masterpiece in the worst sense of the term. I mean, that movie, what's impressive to me about it is how consistently it stays terrible. Like it doesn't. It's a masterpiece in a lot of ways because it stays absurd, but it stays committed to that vision. It never gets unabsurd at any time. It's completely ludicrous the whole time. It's great. Dang, he almost looked for the machete. Nah, no. Drain Bramage. Yeah, I know. Drain damage. Okay, let me pick at your aging brain for a minute then, Hollywood. You are from Berkeley or spent a lot of time there? No, I'm not from there. I'm from Southern California, but I went to school up there. So when I hit 18, I went to Berkeley. I went there for 5 years. Well, I spent 1 year in Germany, went to Berkeley, and afterwards I stayed in the Bay Area for another many years. And then about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I moved back down to Southern California. The books covering the rise of the computers, right, leading up to the Butlerian jihad would make an awesome movie. Yeah, no, they could do. It's rich for doing a lot of prequels. I mean, they could turn it into a proper like Star Wars type thing. He has a new French flick is supposed to be a little off too. Something about a nun. Okay, yeah, you mean Claire Denis or Denis Clary? What's his name? I can't remember. He's phenomenal because his Sicario was amazing. What else did he do? He did another couple of films that were just astounding. I saw Jesse Spano's boobies. I mean, poor girl. He apologized publicly. He's like, look, I realize I ruined her career. He's like, it's my fault. And she's terribly embarrassed by it. I mean, that movie was just a stinker. But like I said, it's not easy to do something that bad and like high quality bad and like consistently bad. Because like just a shitty B movie is uneven at times. Like it's watchable, at times it's just poor quality. The production level throughout stays good. It stays hammy the whole time, and at the same time, as badly written of a script as it is, it does have a clear vision. This whole notion of celebrity selling out, and again, it was too tongue-in-cheek. Someone mentioned something in here about satire. It was almost ironic. It was like he was satirizing something that wasn't it's a little bit too deep. He missed it, unfortunately. But for all the wrong reasons, it ended up turning into a classic because he failed in so catastrophically. It's a cool thing to have a foreign director's take on American culture. Yeah. Well, I think it's his story about the idea of selling out. You ever go into a kind of cool military circles here at Berkeley run by a guy named Matt? Was it on university? So I was there I was there throughout the 90s. So I was there all the 90s. A lot of them closed down. I still have my Navy surplus jacket that I got. I went to all the surplus stores in Berkeley. So I'm thinking about the one on University was the last one that didn't close down. Arrival. That was a pretty good one, though. Sicario was good. I hope he did grumpy. I might need some tea for the story that's about to unfold. The story Arrival is based on is awesome. Yeah. Isn't Arrival a novel by Sagan or something like that? Or one of those people? Carl Sagan or something like that. Wasn't it? I don't remember. That tripped me out. That movie... I was still experimenting with my neurotransmitters at that time. So to me, Arrival was like, yeah, bro, that's what I've done, bro. It's like inspired by DMT or something. I don't know. It seems like the type of thing you might think of. A really good one is the movie based on the Paul K. Dick story. It's with it's that animated rotoscope thing with Keanu Reeves, I think Woody Harrelson, definitely Winona Ryder, A Scanner Darkly. That movie is a head trip, and that movie, like, you had to have experimented. Contact is Sagan. Sorry. Arrival. Which one's Arrival? Oh, Arrival! With that movie was so sweet where they go sideways. The visuals on that was, and with the octopus, and I didn't know that was based on a book. I guess I never really thought. Yeah, I was thinking of Contact, but that was the one that you got to do a lot of drugs for that. But The Story of Your Life by Ted Chiang, that's what Arrival is? No. Is it? Okay. He was there and opened until he passed away a few years ago. It was chock full of some ancient stuff. I know his son has some of the stuff from that store. Cool. Do you remember what street it was on? Which one? I guess there was one on Telegraph that did stay open, I think. But I've been to all of them, so I don't know. Was there a cat living in it? I don't remember. I don't know about the Arrival though. Lessons from the screenplay covered Arrival. Sorry, I don't understand. The Scanner Darkly is great. Disturbed. Yeah, absolutely. Amy Adams and Jeremy Renner is Arrival. Yeah. Amy Adams needs to get more work. She's great. Jeremy Renner is a little overused, but he's good, so no problem with that. Oh, yeah. Somebody explained this to me. I was really shocked. The TV show on Netflix with, what's his name? Playing the Punisher. I like that actor. Personally, I like the guy. But the Punisher he's supposed to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger size. I mean, in the past Punishers, they've had like pro wrestlers play him. The Punisher is enormous. He's like Jason Momoa size. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm confused. That guy's not huge. The Punisher is supposed to be enormous. What on earth happened with that casting? I mean, like I said, I like that actor. I don't remember his name. I just saw him in that Sandra Bullock movie. Again, he was great in that. John Barenthal, thanks. He's great. I like him as an actor. Lessons from the Screenplay is a podcast that compares screenplays to novels to screen. Cool. Thank you. Glad to know. He's pretty big, but he does good work with a sledgehammer. Is that how they do that? They show his power through a sledgehammer? Okay. But again, he's supposed to be enormous. And not just like a medium-sized frame with good muscles. I mean, he's supposed to... You know what I'm talking about. The Punisher is a mountain of a man. He even beats up Black Widow at one point, which normally Black Widow wouldn't lose to him in a fight, but different set of circumstances in that storyline. They made those shows with a realism. Oh, they wanted to get away from the comic booky stuff. But still, I mean, Punisher, that's his trademark, just being enormous. Oh yeah, that's just a cliche. He caused the same damage as a big guy. I'm not sure what you mean. Hollywood wants a big beefy man. His deported TV can't deliver. No, it's just, we grew up on the Punisher. The Punisher was, he was the cool comic book character. He wasn't a good at two shoes. Everyone was a good at two shoes. No one ever wanted to, and Punisher. I liked Punisher because he was like Elektra. He was like Bane. He was like those characters that were like, is he a good guy? Like, he's a fucking just straight up fucking vigilante. He's what Batman could be, if Batman had balls, or like the concept of Batman. They kept the attitude. Okay, yeah, he's just like psychopathic and murderous and homicidal, and I mean, Batman is much more stomachable because he has that whole peace thing. But if Batman were like anyway, I mean, right? Isn't that what the Punisher is? Essentially Batman, except the flip of him, like the Red Hood, I guess, right? I guess Punisher is like, because that's what the Red Hood is, essentially Batman, except a Batman that acts like the Punisher. What they need to do is do a real Silver Surfer movie, but that's the best superhero of all. Well, yeah, the Silver Surfer, they could do something really cool with that. But the problem is with Silver Surfer, and then if you bring in Silver Surfer, you bring in Galactus, it kind of breaks the universe, because it just, like, what is somebody like Punisher, Daredevil, and Batman compared to frigging Silver Surfer and frigging Galactus? And wait, am I mixing worlds? But anyway, you know what I mean? Like, once you get to the really powerful people, you start to lose the scope. You lose the ground level. He was the anti-hero, absolutely. He causes the same damage as a huge guy would. You mean the character and actor in the TV show? Or you're saying the character of the Punisher, just because he's big, he didn't do extra damage? He does. I mean, I think in the comic book, he's huge and he does more damage than their average guy, I think, right? Isn't he like ultra strong? Anyway, we don't have to talk about comic books. I don't know why. I just wanted to go on a little rant because I want to watch The Punisher, but I feel like I'm just going to sit there the whole time going, huh? I mean, my favorite was Daredevil. I like the ones where they did fighting. That's why I liked Batman and Daredevil, because they fought. I loved Elektra. There's low tier like the Meteor Man, mid tier like Batman, and S tier. Yeah, like Superman, Galactus. Yeah, right. And that's what I'm saying. Like once you get to Silver Surfer, he's like immortal or something, like invincible. Galactus is coming. Really? The seeds have been planted in the Eternals. Yeah, that's what I heard. I haven't seen it yet. And the Fantastic Four is also being loaded out. Yeah, I mean, that will be the third time they try to do the Fantastic Four. Has just flopped so many times that I don't know what's going on. Fine by me. They need to get on with the stronger, bigger characters already. Spider-Man has like 43 movies. Yeah, but think of the time span. Sure, they have a lot, but not like there's not a high density of them overall. Sure, yeah, Silver Surfer would be cool, but I mean, I never saw the Fantastic Four: The Rise of the Silver Surfer. I never saw that. It's terrible. For the 3FF, sorry, I don't. For the third final Fantastic Four, okay. Laid out, okay. It's also being laid out. Oh, okay. Adam Warlock is going to be in the Guardians. Yeah, right. I heard that. The new Guardians that's coming out, right? That ought to be cool. That ought to be really cool. And again, that now they're bringing in more powerful characters. Rise of Silver Surfer doesn't exist. I heard it was all. I didn't bother. I didn't want to do it. I was just like, no, I can't. It's just too painful. Who's the guy with the yellow helmet, the magician? Because I like the magic people. I like Doctor Strange. I like the magic people. I like the superheroes that do magic. Because they can go beyond just the superpowers, you know. Spider-Man from the Electric Company is the best of all. Fight me. Hey, I grew up on that, so you aren't gonna hear me complain. I grew up on that awful stuff, you know. Hell, the hokey Batman, when I was a kid and it was on reruns, like I took it serious. I didn't know it was meant hokey. Like I took it serious. I thought it was cool. I read that they're going to have Earth-based villains for the Earth folks and galactic villains for the space-based people. Well, yeah, I mean that's how the comics are. It's just that, like, I think because the danger was when they did, was it which Avengers where they fight the Chitauri? It's the first one. And then when they went back to Iron Man regular, like they had to mention like, okay, we're going to go back to fighting like some human with a corporation. You know, we just, you know, this alien race tried to destroy Earth, but now it's just that awkwardness of trying to navigate that huge chasm. Dr. Fate, that's the one. Yeah, thank you. You guys are such nerds. Yeah, Dr. Fate. I like the magic, and then I also really like the question. And you can't tell me they're not going to set up for that, because remember in Birds of Prey, was it Birds of Prey? Anyway, in Birds of Prey, remember they bring whatever's like Detective Vasquez or whatever her name is, because remember she later, when the question dies later, she becomes the new question. So they brought her in. So I think they're gonna bring the question in. They might just skip him altogether and just make her the question like right off the bat. Adam West Batman was an ankle deep high watermark, but it was still a great thing to have as a kid. It was for me. I took it serious. Yeah, I didn't know any better. Yeah, Grumpy was watching that in my Spider-Man under. I had Spider-Man underoos. I did. I had those, and I should just wear them around and run around the house. Oh my god. It's going to be the whole multiverse thing is bonkers. Yeah, I like that stuff. On the DC side would be Constantine for supernatural stuff. Yeah. Right. Well, there's Constantine, but Constantine does work with not Dr. Fate. Yeah, the guy with the yellow helmet. They're both DC, aren't they? Yeah. But yeah, I want to see Constantine come back. And that's another thing too. You know, they did Constantine way back with Keanu Reeves, and then they just sort of dropped it. You know, I don't remember that movie being that bad. It didn't really seem like Constantine though. That's the problem. I mean, he wasn't British. They didn't make him like conflicted and dark. You know, Constantine's way more interesting than the movie was. The movie, I felt like they put it out there because that's when they first were able to do enough CGI to make Constantine an interesting world. Yeah. And they've done stuff together. The Dr. Fate is the guy with the yellow helmet, right? It's the helmet that gives him the powers, isn't it? It's the helmet itself. Like he's just like some dude, but like the helmet, it's like the helmet of some power or something or other. Keanu Reeves said last week that he was trying to make a sequel a while back. Oh, really? I mean, he's got enough juice and he's just as popular as ever. I mean, now with the John Wick thing, I mean, his star has gone nowhere. I mean, this guy, he's on a whatever, a trajectory, like a rocket ship. So we could talk about other things, knives. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to Dr. Fate is going to be in the Black Adam movie. There's going to be a Black Adam movie? Wait, really? So Black Adam... Yeah, but Black Adam... Yeah, Black Adam's a villain? They're going to make a villain movie? How do you guys know these things? You guys read? Like, God, I didn't know you guys were such geeks. Oh, my fucking God. You guys are all fucking comic book geeks? Oh, my God. Why are there so many nerds these days? Pierce, the old James Bond is playing him, is going to play Dr. Fate or Black Adam? Who's complaining? We aren't talking knives? No one's complaining. I'm just saying I don't want to alienate anybody. Yeah, I think a few people have already left. I think people who just aren't into comic books and superhero stuff, I think might have just taken off. I didn't want to derail it. We talk about Pierce Brosnan, right? It's the Rock movie. He's an anti-hero. It's called The Rock, Dr. Fate. It's going to be it's going to be called The Rock, and it's going to be a movie about Black Adam, and then Dr. Fate's going to be in it. Black Adam is like Shazam, right? But with no conscience, I think. Right. Black Adam is sort of the anti-Shazam, I think, right? I think he has like the same electrical powers and stuff like that, or whatever it is. The Rock is playing Black Adam. Okay, that would work. Yeah, because Black Adam is supposed to be enormous, so yeah, that would work. But isn't he a villain? Anyone heard the theory that Sean Connery's character from The Rock is actually James Bond? Yes, I've heard that. It's just an internet theory. And it came out pretty close to when The Rock came out, but it's just an internet theory. It's brilliant, but it's identical to. Have you heard the Wizard of Oz theory? I mean, this got some huge amount of traction when I was in college, and people were legit talking about it as if it was a real thing, and it's absolutely not true. The idea that the Wizard of Oz was Frank Baum's critique of American politics, that the Cowardly Lion represented the Southern gentleman, the Tin Man, Northern industry, and the Scarecrow represented the farmer, right, with no brain, and that it was all the emerald, whatever was like, the greenbacks, and how you follow the yellow brick road, how we need to get back on the gold standard. It's a fascinating theory. All false. Hey, Diver Dave, welcome. How are things out in Singapore? Hey, Stacy, we're talking about not knives. And it was a very elaborate theory, and it ties in so well. None of it is true. Frank Baum wrote Wizard of Oz. He was into transcendental meditation, and he believed in mysticism. So his whole message was purely a metaphysical one. Cowardice, overcoming, cowardice and ignorance, and work and all this and that. And the idea that she goes on this whole journey only to find that her way home was within her all along. That is literally the message of mysticism. So yeah, that whole theory is flatly wrong, but it works well. And so I think it's the same thing with the Rock. The idea that Sean Connery was actually James Bond. No, it's just a wonderful theory that's just delicious to take in, but it's absolutely not. I mean, I'm not saying it's not. I seriously doubt it, but it's delicious. It's very enticing and interesting. Speaking of, we're supposed to do a cinema, what was it? Fidget and films or something like that. We're supposed to do knives and talk about cinema with Stevie Wonder Woman. So I should probably still do that. And I think what we should do is like do like an ongoing series where we talk about certain films along like certain topics, you know, and like one topic is I firmly believe that some of the best dramatic film performances are done by stand-up comedians. So like for example, I don't like Jim Carrey. I don't think he's very funny. Personally, I don't like him. I don't really like his movies. I don't really like his comedy. But Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, amazing. Likewise, I'm not a huge Damon Wayans fan. I think out of all the Wayanses, he's sort of the most spazzy and he kind of overdoes it. I don't dislike him, but it's really not my style. I think he's the least funny out of all of them. He just sort of hams it up too much. He tries too hard, you know, because he's the youngest. And so he was the wildest. He had to put on an extra 11 on everything. But him in Requiem for a Dream, astounding, you know. The list goes on and on. I think some of the best dramatic performances are turned in by. Okay, there was a movie based on my life. It was called All Night Dance Party. When they made the movie, they renamed it Boogie Nights. I mean, are you being serious? No. That was based. Boogie Nights was based on a true story. Right here, I believe, right here in Hollywood. Wasn't there a porn star? Yeah, and things went bad, and I gave up movies and TV shows. That's too bad. Okay, there's a lot of good stuff out there. Flicks and Flicks. That's what it was. Gosh, Grumpy, your memory is pretty good. Remember the scene in the talk where he put the green ball in the guy's mouth and crushed it? That was cool. No, I don't remember it that well at all. I don't remember. I'm sorry, I don't remember it that. Which character represents you, Winchester? Flicks and Flicks. Yeah, sure. Hey, Todd. Excuse me, not funny. Oh, sorry. You found the pivot pin. I did. Oh my God. K Mason, you remember? Jeez, yeah, I just mentioned that I found it. Yeah, I did. Gosh, look at these people. You guys have some solid memory. Requiem for a Dream makes me all paranoid and tweak. I know. I saw that movie in the theater and I had no idea what to expect. And I was literally in there, like literally screaming. That movie scared the fucking shit out of me. Because, you know, in the theater, those refrigerator sequences were so loud. See, Hollywood Knows. John Holmes. Yeah, John Holmes. Yeah. About how things went real wrong. Oops, The Rock. Okay, eggs. Oh, hey, eggs. Pepperidge. What? Farm remembers. The Rock was kind of a tragic story. You mean that movie, The Rock? Oh, hey, Shane. Grumpy, your memory is so good, it's mine. Oh, geez. I'm playing, of course. I'm too young for that to be based on me. No, okay, yeah. I assumed as much. No, because what made me think of it was, have you guys seen 24-Hour Party People? That movie fucked me up. That movie was so good. Once again, Steve Coogan. I mean, that movie was hilarious, though, too. It wasn't purely drama, but he played it straight. And just the character itself was so crazy. It was so hilarious. I mean, I lived through that whole period. Like, I was so in love with the Manchester sound. I had no idea that whole backstory. Steve Coogan's character, I don't remember the guy's name, was just awesome. I was so into that movie. That genre. The general doing what's best for his men and getting screwed over by the government. You're talking about in The Rock? Sorry, I did see it more than once. I really don't remember it. It was so long ago, you know? I don't know how tight I want this pivot to be. You know, I want it to be really loose. And so I want to Loctite it. Now, If I Loctite it loose, it'll stay loose, correct? Like it'll lock where I leave it loose, right? It won't continue to loosen up, right? Isn't that the whole point? I'm back. Hey. I know. Eggs. People freak out about that. Beep. I know. I don't even hear it anymore. Nick Cage makes most movies. The thing is, when he made The Rock, he still was okay. It was many years after that he consistently made awful movies. I mean, he's made shit movies for the past 20 years, No, I disagree. Did you see him in remember Kevin Hart was in that movie with the guy from the actor from Breaking Bad, or what's that guy's name? The guy that's in the wheelchair. It's a remake of a French film called The Intouchables, and then Kevin Hart was in that. And that's another perfect example. He didn't play a comedic role in that, and his dramatic role was awesome. Here's another one. Monique in Precious. Killed it. She disturbed the shit out of me. I mean, she was so fucked up in that movie. It was just unbelievable. I couldn't sleep with that smoke detector. Oh God, oh really? You're like hella OCD, bro. Grumpy, I didn't catch you putting flicks up there before me. Oh, really? Both of you guys did? I love Nick Cage movies. I did. And then he started. I bet you couldn't name the past 17 he's done because they're so terrible. I know what film that was. I haven't seen it. Which film? I forgot what we were talking about. Oh yeah, watch it, and you will totally change your mind about Kevin Hart. He plays it completely straight, and the other thing too is you want to, as an actor, it's a lot like makeup. You want makeup to make the face beautiful. You don't want to make makeup so overpowering that it becomes about the makeup. Acting is the same way. You want to act enough that it pushes the story along, but not so that you steal the show. And that's exactly what he does. He allows the beauty of the story to take place without eating up the screen, which is a delicate, like a fine line or whatever. Was she just sniffing the air too loudly? Right, the mini pit bull is barking up a storm while Katie is trying to sleep. Oh God, Mandy Pig. Who's one of the voice work in the animated Superman? Oh, Kevin Hart did all those, really? Is that who you're talking about? I haven't seen. I don't think I've seen any of those, and I haven't seen the animated Spider-Man yet that I know of. Is it a new one? Is it an old one? I'm way behind on animated stuff. I'm going straight through chronologically, because I didn't have a television, so I missed most of that whole thing. Nick Cage. Oh, really? Okay, yeah. Well, don't forget Prisoners of Ghostland. See, I didn't see that. I just know he's done some really awful action films. Like it reached a point where anyone that waved a shitload of cash in front of him, he took it. I don't think they're low budget movies. I think they're just movies that he takes up the biggest part of the budget. Nicolas Cage is the opposite of Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves regularly gives up a huge chunk of his salary in order to get a better film made. Nicolas Cage is the opposite. He eats up a huge amount of the budget so that the film suffers. But he will not, he bought a fucking island for his former wife. Yeah, I don't have a TV. I haven't had one in forever. Couldn't remember the name. Hell Rider, exactly. Hell Rider, and then post Hell Rider, I think he's done only bad movies. I don't remember a single good one. You see the Chuck E. Cheese one? That was awesome. No, I have no idea. Okay, here we go. Yeah, Lord of War was good. The Rock, Con Air was kind of Pig. Gone in 60 Seconds, I heard was nice. Natural Treasure 1 and 2, Ghost Rider. Yeah, some of those are a little iffy, but yeah, there was the Jiu-Jitsu movie. Yeah, I think it was terrible, right? Willy's Wonderland. Okay. Face Off was good because it was a John Woo movie. But that was, again, still back when he was still doing good stuff. Nicholas Cage coming out where he plays himself. Does he really? That would be interesting. I didn't like Keanu until Siddhartha. Oh, God. Siddhartha was terrible. Okay, well, sorry, never mind. We're walking about this more recent stuff. Yeah, exactly. Leaving Las Vegas. I know. See, this is when he was awesome. That's what I'm saying. Knowing. Oh, was it? I haven't watched that. Sorry. Are there any knives or machetes or anything anyone wants to see? I mean, you guys haven't seen the majority of my collection. And here's one of the most disappointing. The Grasso, I think. The Steel Will Tasso. Sorry, Tasso. It's in is it 20 CV or M390 or something like that. But apparently the heat treat's not too good, and the action, they had this new lock where it's like the opposite of you can do it one-handed, but I don't know. It's a very disappointing knife. See, the action is not very good. It picks up the back spring. You see that? Can you? You see that? This is one of the most disappointing knives out there, but I'm all about collecting different lock types because I want to test them all out. He's got a new movie coming out where he plays Nick Cage. Yeah, somebody mentioned that. People seem to hate the Matrix movies, but I enjoyed them. No, everybody loved, not everybody, but people loved the first one. It was just the second and third, just kind of like, huh? They seemed to kind of, anyway. Is that the one with Pedro Pascal? I saw the preview, but I can't remember who else is in it. Sorry, I don't know who Pedro Pascal is. The Matrix is one of the greatest trilogies ever made. I will spike your drinks with laxatives if you disagree. Matt, you are so crazy. I collect by lock types too. Oh, really? Cool. Yeah, I want to try all the different lock types because this is one of the biggest areas in which the sky is the limit, and the most obvious example being the 80-20, and in this case the 80-20.5, which I keep putting in a different place. I think I started putting it away in its case, which I keep saying it over and over again, but where is it? But the 80-20, the Shark Lock is the greatest invention to hit knives since the Buck 110. It's that great. And I don't know where it is. So I like button locks. Saw the preview. Oops. Saw the preview on YouTube and so went by pretty quick. Remember Neil Patrick Harris is in it also. Design stuff is what hurts. Yeah, 2 and 3 for me. I agree. I always feel like I have to tolerate until the Matrix stuff happens. I agree. I think that's what most people, why they didn't particularly like 2 and 3. It got kind of awkward, frankly. Have you guys seen Cloud Atlas? Now, there is a movie that, talk about deep, it is never ending. You can watch that movie so many times and constantly see new connections. That is an absolute must-see movie. The second movie had the greatest car chasing ever. I know, finally overtaking Blues Brothers. It did. But they also used digital cars. Matrix did get hard to follow, but I didn't dislike 2 and 3. I didn't hate it, but yeah, the whole Zion stuff was just not that great. Although they brought in Nona Gay, woo-wee, you know, they had Cornel West in there. By the way, guys, Cornel West. If you do not follow Cornel West's lectures, there is a huge hole in your knowledge and perspective. He is what's called, he talks about prophetic Christianity, where, the job of a Christian is to prophesy. Prophesy was not predicting the future. It was confronting your society on its erred ways, its sins, lest judgment befall you in the form of collapse or whatever. And so Dr. Cornel West, follow everything he does. Winchester, I wish they chose a different name and I could deal without the whole tribal party thing, but the combat was awesome. Yeah, that was awkward too. It's like, oh, our new spirituality is of rave. Like, not very deep, guys. Yeah, I just was disappointed in a lot of ways. I like the Shark Lock, but see my video, been around longer than you think, Hollywood. He just refined it, I think. Is that right? Okay, I am going to have to check that out. I'll give Matrix some kudos. They were using representation became a thing. Yeah. It was a thing in academia, but yeah, you're right. It wasn't very... Hey, Andrew, thanks for joining. Yeah, it wasn't quite so mainstream yet. You're right. Pedro Pascal, Mandalorian. Oh, sorry. You haven't seen The Mandalorian yet either. I watched the first episode. It didn't grip me, so I'm just not... I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to need to, obviously. I read that he inspired some ideas. That's why they had him in the movies. Yeah, no, he was a major influence on them. That's why Cornel West is in the movie. Absolutely, that's why. Yeah, thanks, Jay. And Cornel West is... I'll tell you a story. I went and saw Cornel West speak at Cal State LA 2011, and I was just crying tears the entire time. See if you could YouTube it. See if you can find it. He spoke for about an hour, and it was just pouring tears down my face the entire time. I was probably in a pretty tough place. It's one of the best listens ever. Oh, Grumpy Grunt, thanks. Yeah. Okay, so you guys know what's up. Good for you. Yes, in part why we named our thing Temple of the Prophets. Okay. Oh, yeah, you were talking about that. Everyone see the new Matrix movie? Is it out yet? I saw the billboard for it just now on my way back to Hollywood from the Valley. I've never felt like I gained any knowledge to anyone. I just gained a perspective. Then listen to Noam Chomsky and Cornel West, and you'll gain both perspective and actual knowledge. Because the thing about Chomsky is he reads all the internal documents, what the government actually says, what the FBI actually says, what the CIA actually says, and so he reads all primary sources. So Howard Zinn, again, tons of actual information and knowledge. So I would expand. I would say those people is where I started my journey. I mean, I in a lot of ways I went beyond that too, and I don't mean that in like a snobby way, but you can go even deeper. But I would say start with Noam Chomsky. Anything he does, I mean, literally, he's probably one of the greatest geniuses of all time. In fact, I could tell you a bunch of stories about him too. I became famous at Berkeley because I asked him the unanswerable question. Like years later, people were like, "Oh, that was you." Okay, Noam. So I wouldn't say I exactly agree with Chomsky, but again, he's difficult to debate with. Howard Zinn and Cornell West. I would say these were, I would say, three of the people who kind of most like reawakened. Like I realized like most of what we were taught was a lie. When I'd like to call that the underground orgy scene without any bare TTs. I know, huh? I love The Mandalorian. It's the best Star Wars property in 38. Really? Okay, I watched the first episode. I wasn't wowed by it, but I know everyone loves it, so I know I'm gonna have to watch it. I finally watched all the new Star Warses. I didn't love them; they were okay. I rewatched Rogue One, which I thought, out of all the most recent ones, that was one of the better ones too. I thought that was a lot of fun. Oh, there was one TT. I'm gonna have to watch it on slow-mo. Timestamp, Matt. Timestamp. I know you have it memorized. I'm going to see it in the theater and then on HBO Max. So, do you mean The Matrix is going to be on HBO Max, or which one? Confronting Society for Terrors is one of the things the prophets said. Exactly. Right. That's, I think, hopefully I said that clear enough. But right, that's Cornell West's approach to how he understands Christ's message and mission. I just rewatched American Reunion, and the neighbor girl in that movie has an amazing set. That's what I needed. Starry Stacey, I'm a dog. American Reunion. What is that? I'm sorry, I don't know that movie. I don't think I know that movie, do I? Noam Chomsky, Howard Zinn. Okay, I agree with you, Shane. I like listening to different viewpoints and seeing what other people think and comparing their views to my own. Rogue One was sweet, right? Okay. Even so, okay, what? Even so, he's repeating words that another man wrote under the pressure of an agenda, not knowledge. Yeah. So Shane, so basically, that is the sort of postmodern position. Is, so you look at, well, if you want to know who I most align with, would be Michel Foucault. And that's what's called post-structuralism. And that's exactly what they're talking about, that everything is rehashed. Michel Foucault, post-structuralism. And if you want your brain completely exploded, read the first chapter of Discipline / Punish. A lot of people think, wait, discipline / punish. But I think in the English translation, it might be discipline and punish, I think. So there's some debate, and it actually gets deep as to what it is. Also read the introduction to the interpretation of things, where he talks about human nature and how there is no such thing. And that is, he just died a few years ago. I'm blanking on his name. Anyway. Oh, and then the other major players, Edward Said and his Orientalism. The introduction to Orientalism, it just completely flip-flops your perspective on everything. I chain watched The Mandalorian. Okay, so I'm gonna have to do that. Very good. Rogue One was way underrated. I'm glad you think so. I don't know why it didn't get more press. I loved Rogue One. Yeah, I know. The Matrix on HBO. When? So is it coming out now or soon, or Winchester? Oh, there we go. Anyone here watch Cobra Kai? I haven't seen it yet. Don't get me wrong. I fucking grew up on Karate Kid. I actually saw the interview. They did a 30th anniversary thing, and the guy that played Johnny had been bugging Daniel-san for years to revisit it. And so they've been working on this for a long time. You can check out that interview. It's on YouTube somewhere, but they've been trying to get this going, and people love it, as I understand it. It's apparently it's quite good. Matrix 4 on Wednesday on HBO or in theaters only. The last of the American Pie series. Oh, really? Okay. Oh, when everyone came back, right? Talk movies that people come. I know. Oh, gosh, you're right, huh? Although I don't think it has anything to do with what I was or wasn't talking about. I think it was the fact that people went away, ate, did whatever they did, and then came back. I think I just lucked out on that. Okay, Mandalorian starts off slow, but the season finale, season 2, had me cutting onions. Really? Ooh. Ooh. Okay, the theatrical released American Pie movies. Yeah, no, I know. They had all the direct-to-video and all that, yeah. It's because I used keywords like orgy and TT, you know TT. Wench tester? The fuck? Oh, Winchester. Oh, I get it. Crime and Punishment? No. Crime and Punishment is by what, Dostoevsky, is it? And that's about the it was supposed to be about 1848, the communist revolutions, the Paris Commune and all that. It was supposed to be. So, like, that's very interesting history that, again, we're never taught about. They called them the 48ers, not the 49ers, the 48ers. And these people from Italy, Germany, in the UK, I mean, they were banished all over the world. A huge number of them ended up here in America. And they were the foundation of a huge amount of revolutionary ideas and progressive change, etc. Cobra Kai is great too, Goondocks. Are they doing another season soon? Oh, that show is so popular, it's going to keep going on. And apparently it's so well written and so good that, yeah, that's a winner right there. I thought Solo was solid. I didn't give two shits about Harrison Ford, so I didn't get my feeling hurt. Yeah, no, I Solo was good, but again, I think Rogue One was on a different level. Okay. And Edward, sorry. Okay. I think as a society, we have a lot less knowledge than we like to admit. We are just easily thrilled by theory. So, yeah, I'm not sure exactly what you mean, but here's another person that was majorly influential. God, I'm blanking on his fucking name. So he wrote Pedagogy of the Oppressed, and he's a Brazilian thinker, Paulo Freire. And he's relatively unknown even in Brazil, but in America, he's the most assigned reading for people in grad school. And as a result, he's so important in the US that UCLA is where, right here on the west side over here, is actually where his archives are, not even in Brazil. I don't think people in Brazil, he's not that important in Brazil, but in the US, he is the most important educator. It comes out on the 31st. Season 4 comes out on the 31st, the 22nd. Rogue One was pure Star Wars. I agree. So like next week, I'm so confused. Justice for Johnny. Oh, for the Cobra Kai. It's a great series. Back, both dogs wanted out. Cool. Hey Calvin, ever see Just One of the Guys? Never heard of it. Sup eggs? Just One of the Guys? I don't think so. Is that from the 80s? That girl who pretended to be a boy? Missed that. That's awesome. I accept the job. Hey. William Zabka is basically the same role from Cobra Kai, but the movie is just as fun. Sorry, I don't. William Zabka. What is that from? She plays football. Yeah. Good. Just grinding through life. Shane, don't think society is anything more than a pseudo contractual construct for controlling maladaptive behaviors. It has evolved into a power structure that exists to feed itself. Wow, look at that. I do not play football. What did I do wrong? Pedagogy, okay, there we go. There was a girl in that movie who joined the football team pretending to be a guy, I think. Yeah. So it's what we're thinking about. Yeah. So Jay and me, we all realize, yeah, just for the guys or whatever. Why are you mentioning that 80s movie? Because of TT. Yeah. Yeah, Quantum Leap. The guy from Quantum Leap. Scott, but God, you guys, grumpy grunt with the memory. This guy, Scott Bakula, that's 100% right. You know, I saw the pilot of Quantum Leap purely by accident and was blown away by it. If you see the pilot, it's so touching. He tries to reach out to his dad, and it's fascinating. Sorry for that dump. No. I loved it. It was great. Quantum Leap, Scott Bakula, Quantum Leap, the TV show. Yes. How much do you know that can't be combated with who told you that? Well, I mean, that's the point. I mean, that is the journey, Shane. I mean, I think that's why I mention all these people, because that is. I mean, you go into these people, and that's why, you know, the best way, in my opinion, to read a book is read the blurb, read the if it's a soft, you know, read the in the margins there, read the introduction, and then read the table of contents, and then read the, what do you call those? The footnotes, you know, the footnotes, you know, the end notes, you know, all their references. I find that to be very telling. I find that's the best way to approach a book, is look at the end notes and look at who they're getting their stuff from. And this is what we could call like a genealogical analysis, because you're absolutely right, Shane. When we talk about that which I or a person in this modern world is talking about, where did that idea come from? That's why I mentioned the post-structuralists. When you look at Foucault, that's why I'm recommending you read Crime and Punishment, and your fucking brain is going to explode, because Michel Foucault, this guy, nobody can figure out where the fuck this guy did his research. I mean, he digs up these primary sources that are just like from fucking Mars. He reads like medieval documents on like torture and shit, and it's just like his analysis is so amazing. He digs up such interesting stuff from the past, because like you said, Shane, everything comes from somewhere. So when you trace that which we're being fed as being X, Y, and Z, once we're able to, and that's what Derrida talks about, right? Derrida talks about no sign is fixed, and he talks about deconstructionism, right? He deconstructs, well, where did that come from? Where did that come from? Where did that come from? That's where Edward Said's Orientalism, you know, he's like, well, where do these ideas that we take as given come from? And he talks about Orientalism, the idea of Occident and Orient, right? Occident meaning center, Orient meaning left of center, and how this exoticization, the other, how those kinds of discourses come into play. And so that's why I agree with you. You know, who told you that? I mean, realize that up until like, you know, 80 years ago, it was standard. Eugenics was standard. You know, social Darwinism was standard. Another thing that was standard is, you guys would never believe this, but another thing that was standard in academia, and Western academia, especially in the United States, was, if you guys don't know about the lost tribe theory. So these anthropologists and scientists and historians assumed native people were just a bunch of wild tree-swinging monkeys, that they couldn't possibly have built the pyramids or Borobudur, these huge temple complexes of Angkor Wat and all that. So they had this entire elaborate theory called the Lost Tribes of Israel, that clearly white tribes of lost Israelites had to have ended up at every other corner of the world, because clearly only a white man can build a big temple. I mean, this was standard. This was unquestioned. So you look at the Dutch guy that discovered the Temple of Borobudur, which is the largest stone structure on Earth, in the Indonesian rainforest. He was, he did great scholarship otherwise, and he discovered this in great drawings. So we have a lot of these stuff that had been lost. He discovered in the 20s and 30s, I think, in the 30s. And he just goes on. He's like, but the amount of advanced science and algebra and all this that one would need to build something of this magnitude this long ago, like 700 years ago. Clearly, it wasn't these savage apes that live here. I figured it out. It was the lost tribe of Israel that came here to Indonesia in the ancient past and built these things. And they've since disappeared into the jungle. We don't know what happened to them, but that explains how this amazing temple is here in the middle of the rainforest in Indonesia. So these are the kinds of things that Edward Said begins to uncover in his understanding of Orientalism and this notion of the other. So that, who told you that? Exactly. You look at the mislabeled museum pieces where clearly it's a yoni, a vagina, and it'll be like phallic symbol. Like, are you serious? Okay, anyway, let me go on. William Zabka equals Johnny. Oh, sorry. I didn't know that. Just one of the guys. William Zabka. Isn't it? Yeah. Okay. The thing is, what surprised me is, to me, at that time in the 80s, William Zabka was big. He was in Karate Kid. He was in the Just One of the Guys. He was in like a bunch of, he was like the teen, blonde, good-looking villain. And then he just disappeared. Loved Quantum Leap. How much physics and chemistry have you actually tested? Philosophy is worse. I let's not get into that. Scientism is an interesting thing too. I agree. That is the journey. Okay, let's see. Scott Bakula, NCIS New Orleans. Yeah, he is now. It'd be banging if Quantum leaped into someone else's body for sure. Oh, who's just there was some movie like that where I'd be playing with my own boobies. Okay. Fucking Winchester. I know, right? Dang, you're still on. Oh, hey. Yeah, I know, right? These guys are just going on and on. Matisfaction. I love that show back in the day. Been years since I've seen it. Yeah. Dang, guys, my phone's just about dead. I have to go. Good night, everyone. Good night. Might have missed you already. Hey, Andrew, I think it's on Hulu. I still watch episodes from time to time. I think it is, yeah. It can consuming to the point that even beauty can't be enjoyed if you question it too much. If you're interested, Shane, there's a great video on YouTube. It's only like 6, 7, or 8 minutes, and I think it's called "The Death of Beauty" by one of my favorite philosophers. I think his name is Henri Beton. He did Status Anxiety, which is a must-see, and he also did Why You Will Marry the Wrong Person. And then he finally does one on, I think it's something like The Death of Beauty. And he basically talks about like postmodernism and architect, like it's basically why architecture is so ugly. And it's really interesting. So yeah, things aren't allowed to be beautiful anymore. And look, oh, and he does a great thing on religion for atheists. I think that's what he called it. Religion for atheists. And he really gets to the crux of what I believe that our modern scientific worldview has failed us in terms of giving us a sense of meaning and purpose, giving us a framework by which to understand our experiences, how to live a fulfilled life, et cetera, et cetera. Scientism, modernism has dramatically failed us. And I think he really addresses that. And again, this notion of beauty. We don't even have beauty anymore. I agree with that. Next time you watch that, remember me. Oh, God. Okay, that we know of larger structure. Right, but we're increasingly finding more because even Borrowed Badur, was lost to history because it was abandoned shortly after being made because the empire collapsed. So, overspending, hey, sound familiar? And it was quickly eaten up by the jungle almost as soon as it was finished. So within, I think, 30 years of being completed, it disappeared into the forest and the empire was lost. And that's why even the locals didn't know what it was because it had been lost to history. It was the spice empire. So Southeast Asia had their heyday in like the 1300s when, the global spice market was all traveling through that area. And, the Khmer Empire in Cambodia was huge. Indonesia was huge. There were all those Southeast Asian empires had their heyday at that time and got ludicrously rich, rise and fall, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I will win. Okay. Hey, Paul. I waited till he read that part. Oh, thanks. Sorry. Winchester. So that's Winchester's new name is Winchester. I just want to live my life and enjoy the outdoors, but 8 billion people make it to where laws are on everything and you get busted for cooking a rabbit out. I know. Yeah, that's weird science, Kelly LeBrock. Budget. The end goal is to have everything cataloged and owned. So you're stealing if you do that. Wow. I love theory as entertainment, but I put no weight into it if I can't replicate it. I'm okay not knowing some things. I'm going to crash to try and get some stuff done early tomorrow. Yeah, I do too. It's 10:30 still. Quantum Leap. Dean Stockton. Huey. Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, my God. We're all coming full circle, huh? Jesus. You guys. For sure, Hollywood society has lost its heart and soul. Yep. Forces the individual to find divinity by themselves mostly now. Well, there you go. Absolutely. And I think that's what Henri de Botton gets at. I think it's what I'm about, where, the liberal tradition is what he talks about, how the liberal tradition has failed. It's succeeded in giving us freedom, civil society, things like that. The sciences, hygiene, technology, but it's lost its heart, and in fact, they won't even talk about it. They've decided this is something we will not talk about. So I agree with you 100%. And that's where they've lost the discussion. And which is why we see the kind of rise in right-wing sort of fascist movements all across the world, because people want that sense of certainty. They want answers to the deeper questions. That's what I was hoping to expand and branch out in this channel insofar as how can we widen the discussion? Like if we're talking about prepping, being tactically sound, a big part, for example, right now, the reason why I mentioned Paulo Freire is in answer to Shane, he talks about the word praxis, which he calls theory plus practice, because the big danger is theory without practice is dead. Practice without theory can become, for example, fascist or right wing. It could be grossly misguided if you don't have good theory. That's where I'm saying theory is absolutely vital. You cannot have an imbalance. You can't go too far in one way. And if you aren't up to snuff in your theory, so just take a simple example. Let's take knives, what we know about. Knives is not just about hammers, pounding it out, steel. No, there's a theory to it. Metallurgy, blade geometry, thinness behind the edge, locked, etc. Right? It's not just practice. Not just go make the damn knife. Well, how? "Oh, just make it. It's a knife. It's simple." No, it's not. You have to have the right theory. I mean, we were talking about knife design earlier, about some things that work and some things that don't. Deployment, grinds, hollow grind, flat, full flat, Scandi. I mean, obviously it depends on what you're doing. And that's the point, right? You can't just, there's no one size fits all. If you want to be tactically sound in a broader sense, you have to have good theory so as to know that you're not going to be so easily bamboozled, right? That the powers that be increasingly have their power taken away with them when you're hip to their game of the smoke and mirrors and the mirage. Anyway, absolutely. Funny thing, my friend, I'm very conservative, but spiritually we connect. I didn't know you were conservative. You didn't sound like it. Yeah, 12:30. I got to get up in 3 hours. Oh gosh, go to sleep. Okay. For years I wanted to be rich. Now I've realized I just want to own about 20 acres and only want to see my friends and family. I want the government just leave me the fuck alone. I agree with you there, man. Perhaps. Oh, The Alchemist. Yeah, Paulo Coelho is a nice, simple read. People looking to find themselves through the pursuit of their dreams. Yeah, Paulo Coelho. He's another Brazilian. Yes, that theory can be replicated in practice. That becomes fact. Right. I think I know. Having a broad base of knowledge and experience helps one not to fall. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at. I don't see how you're conservative, but yeah, maybe if we continue the conversation more, I would see in which ways you are. But it sounds like we thus far agree on a lot of things, and maybe we could investigate a little bit more in depth some of these thinkers like Chomsky, Foucault, Derrida. What's the name of that guy? Interpretation of things. He's the anthropologist. Oh my God, it's almost 3 hours. I should probably. Kenneth something, right? Interpretation of things. Is that the wrong name? Anthropology. God, I hope I didn't say anthropology. I've just forgotten so much these days. Oh, good Lord. I think I'm way off. Is his name Kenneth something? Holy God almighty. Are you serious? I must have been way off. Oh, good Lord. Okay. Human nature. Oh, good Lord. I was way off. What the heck is his name? Is it Kenneth? Kenneth something? Kenneth. Oh my God. Wow, how could I have been so off? I'm way off. Human nature. So Jean-Jacques Rousseau, Nietzsche, Kierkegaard, Sartre. Come on, what about the contemporary? I will screw it. I'm way off. I'm sorry, guys. I completely lost the guy's name. I thought it was the interpretation of. He's an anthropologist, anyway. I think he was at Berkeley too, for that matter. And he died a few years ago. Sound that way. Good night, Winchester. I consider myself conservative, but more a libertarian. Most things, but have things I just for me. I don't give a f most things anymore. It's not worth my energy to argue with someone's opinion. I only feel that way because I believe it to be the best available option at this time. Yeah, there's a difference with application. Also, it's too big of a label. It can be fiscally conservative and socially enlightened, although some might not agree. I think we need to encourage getting people out of the cities, learn how to be self-reliant, actually know how to grow our own food. Well, that's the thing, Andrew. It's not necessarily true that we have to grow food, because there are some great modern ideas. I don't know how scalable it is, but there is a lot of notions that cities could become increasingly sustainable with like food towers and things like that. So anyway, we could just continue that discussion. Murray Bookchin is good. He talks about this. Murray Bookchin. Also, something that was helpful for me was Beyond Civilization, Humanity's Next Adventure, I think it was called, by Daniel something. I don't even remember. Daniel Quinn? Daniel Quinn, yeah. Daniel Quinn, I think. Daniel Quinn. I'm not sure we necessarily have to go into the country to do that. Who knows? But yes, the disconnect on food is a great topic, right? By the way, I keistered something in the like button before I left. Oh, thank you. Thank you for keistering the like button for me. If they don't, it's too late. I moved out of the city 12 years ago. Okay. Seeing society collapse in 2020 was a huge wake up and made me move back to the country. I would love to. I like the country, but I don't know if I could stay for long. I mean, being in Hollywood, it's just there's so much cultural density, good and for worse. People should know what they're eating, but we are so far from production now. Many people have never seen a chicken killed. Yeah. In Europe, they have such traditional infrastructure that to this day, they eat organic, locally grown from local farmers. And it's hard for the corporations to break that. As part of as a part-time ranch hand, I feel that. Yeah. I would like to get into the country more. I've always loved it. I used to go upstate a lot. Very wild up there. Upstate New York, excuse me. I had a girlfriend, her dad had a farm. He was very outdoorsy. He hated the city too. But, they mostly lived in Queens, and yet eat them daily. Don't get me started on the whole food production. It's industrial capitalism anyway. Did you ever read Way of the Peaceful Warrior? Was that really hippie book back in the day? Way of the... No, this is a more recent book. Oh, 1980. Yeah. I haven't read it. I don't know how familiar I am with it. I think I remember the book. I might own a copy. Vertical farmer. That's it. Thank you. They're dabbling. See, in Singapore. Exactly. Singapore doesn't have an option. I don't know, man. I saw how close the cities were to collapsing in 2020 and COVID minor compared to... No, look, Andrew, I'm not saying as it now exists, you're right. I mean, as it now is with our food production systems and infrastructure the way it is, this is ridiculously fragile. I mean, here in Los Angeles, there's 2 days worth of food in the port. 2 fucking days. If our food system collapses in 2 days, if we have a massive crop failure, we're fucked. I mean, that's why I'm into the whole prepping thing. But anyway, yeah, not as it is now. I'm just saying, Andrew, that I don't think there's an inherent disconnect. There happens to be an actual one now, and that's very important not to forget. But as Diver Dave was pointing out, like in Singapore, it might be possible to sustain a certain amount of urban density without being unsustainable and without being disconnected. With vertical farming, with biointensive farming, and there's lots of modern methods that are super efficient that don't necessarily require an ultra rural existence. That there's probably ways of doing it very radically different than it is now. But yeah, there was more or less it was a pretty big catastrophe, the way it currently is. But I mean, you and I would agree on what the inherent weaknesses on the current system are, that it's top heavy, it's highly corporatized, capital is too what do you call that? In too few hands. Yeah, Be There Now by Ram Dass. Yeah, I was just listening to Ram Dass yesterday. But yeah, those books are very influential. Sure. I read it when I was 19. 2 days if you're lucky. Well, that's what it was 20 years ago. I don't know what it is. I mean, now these days, who knows? Those that know how to self-sustain well, those who can't, well, excuse me. DD, missed you coming in. I need to learn. Yeah, I know. I need to do more of that too. Learning campuses, but yeah, growing your own crops is a thing down here, even if it's launching. Yeah, I mean, just a simple thing, even like victory gardens. I mean, right now, the world makes enough food to feed. I forgot what it was, like 12 billion people. And 2 billion people go hungry every night. Almost all of them are people who make the food we eat, who produce, or food producers. Something like 80% of all people who go hungry are food producers themselves. This is what I'm talking about, Andrew, that the whole global capitalist structure of wealth production and hoarding versus doing things that are meant to do what they are, like producing food not for profit, but producing food to fucking feed people. I mean, the United States throws away more food than it consumes. I have dried food storage to where I could live for 6 months on the food I have in my house right now. Very cool. So are you using freeze drying, or are you using the dehydrator? That is the biggest threat of a civil war, segregation. The settlers will starve. Farmers will not feed them. Wow, see what I mean about the connect? It has nothing to do with economic structure, political climate. It's just about self-preparedness. I disagree completely. Yes, we can distribute so-called vaccines to all, but not food. Hey, it's about political will. Just being self-sustaining and looking out for you and yours. How are you going to do that if the political system is living off-grid? Interested me for a while. I'll try it when I retire, but getting other members of the family to go with it is a problem. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've been obsessing over being off-grid now for frigging decades. And, I live in a very dense urban area, and getting land is really hard. And I've looked into, just going a little bit out here to like unincorporated territories. You can get land for cheap, but there's zero infrastructure, electricity, water. And if you want to like grade the land, I mean, you got to be rich to go off grid. That might not be true in other places, but as far as what I've investigated, in Southern California and in California in general, trying to get off grid is itself the luxury of the well-to-do. It might be different in other places like where you guys are at, where you could easily just get like a farm and just, you know, go out there and kind of do your thing. Out here, if you're too far disconnected from, you know, civilization, you know, the power grid, sewage, et cetera, I mean, it just gets really hard. It's very difficult to be viable. And I know a bunch of like hippie types that tried it for a little while, and after a while they came back, you know, talking that to its logical conclusions. Who's going to force doctors to study 15 years of med school and never make anything from it? Well, the way everyone else does it. I mean, profit should never be a part of it anyway. I mean, I want a doctor who wants to do it to serve, because that's their passion and they want to help people. You know, every other country has a single payer system. We're the only one that doesn't, and we overpay for less services. So we pay more per person, per service, per everything, and we get a tiny fraction of that back. Versus, you know, just compare the United Kingdom or Germany, France, Cuba. Anyway, I have a freeze dryer, one of the awesome ones. Really? So I'm trying to learn more about that. I know that it can keep your food viable for something like 10, 15 years, like for very long periods of time. Isn't that right? And do you write dates on them to stay organized? The food distribution problem, ownership of one's work is a deep problem. Exactly. And that's Marx, you know, we're talking 1860, whatever. That's what's called alienation, that we become alienated from the products of our labor, alienated from the means of production, and alienated. Eventually, Marx says we become even alienated from one another and even alienated from ourselves. So, yeah, it's a very important topic. Freeze, drying, canning, and buying long-term food storage. That sounds cool. I want to get into all that. You won't have enough doctors based on altruism. All the other countries do just fine. Cuba exports doctors. You know, all the slums in Venezuela are chock-a-block full of Cuban doctors. Then why would anyone choose to live in a death trap? The power of that which you hate choose to depend on. I don't understand, Shane. I'm sorry. Why would anyone choose to live in a death trap? You mean the city is a death trap? The power of that which you hate you choose to depend on. Yeah, I mean, so in terms of that, like going off grid and not depending on the powers that you hate, I agree. One of the models in the past was what was called the Wobblies, the IWW, the Industrial Workers of the World. And they talked about building the shell of the old, building the new in the shell of the old, or something, building the shell of the new in the shell under the shell of the old. The idea being we create our interconnected systems now. So if you guys are interested, look into transition towns. Transition towns. That was from the UK in Leeds. And then out here in the US, we called it Trent. Oh, damn. I used to be involved in these groups. I don't know. Sustainable. Oh, intentional communities, I think it was called. Intentional communities. They have websites. I think that was a US-based one. But it was the idea of creating local communities that are self-sufficient, that cooperate in mutual aid. Mutual aid is an anarchist concept, so mutual aid is anarchism. I don't know how to spell it. Anarchism / libertarian. Let me catch up on, because you're getting ahead of me. I would also never live in an area like LA, New York City. I was in Columbus for 15 years, and it was just impractical to live long term in life. Yeah, no, cities are very alienating experiences. LA is very lonely. Anyway, I won't get into it. There's a lot of weirdness. 25 years. Oh, wow. Really? Yes. Right dates and content. Cool. Cool. So you use like freezer bags or I don't know. Not according to patients I've seen from Cuba. Okay. Well, do your homework. The research I've done. Yeah. I mean, the fact that they have a blockade, a U.S. led blockade that's stiffer than Iraq during the Gulf War. I mean, they won't let pipes through. I mean, when you're being crushed to death by the empire 12 miles off your shore, yeah, it gets tough to live. But and that's an act of war, by the way. That's illegal. That's a war crime. And I have seen some. Who told you that? Well, I mean, I've looked at researchers that do actual investigations versus. Hello, everybody. You're having some deep discussions here. It seems. Hey, DDA. The data comes from power structures that have a vested interest in maintaining the power. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm talking about single payer, and the powers that be do not want a single payer because it's a capitalism isn't near as scary to those that put themselves in a position to be independent. So there's a book called, it's from Ellen Maxon's Wood. Ellen makes. There it is. Mason's Wood. No, it's not that one. Ellen MEI Sins Wood. It's called. Oh gosh. Well, let me just look it up. She's a historian, and she wrote. From Verso. It's Empire of Capital, 2003. That's it. Okay, so Ellen Mason's Wood wrote Empire of Capital, and she talks about what she calls the market imperative. And in it, she talks about the fact that there is actually no independence outside of markets, that capitalism, being a robust and productive system, doesn't allow for anything to be outside of its system ultimately, that in the end you are dependent. Just talking about freeze dryer machines. I don't know how to build one of those. I don't know how to build a tin can. We still have, you get toothpaste, toothbrushes, underwear. I mean, sadly, for better or for worse, in my opinion, for the worse, we have to rely on capitalism for our very basic needs. All of them. We aren't independent, and that's my problem. That's the project forward. And Michel Foucault calls this the biopower state, which is the power to give life and let die. So that's what we call the push and pull of annihilation versus assimilation. This is the binary bind, what they call it. Anyway, this is all trying to learn some things, but overall not understanding much. DGA, budget guy, ask. If there's something you don't quite understand, go ahead and ask, and go ahead and look at any of the people that are being referenced here, and you don't have to actually read the book. Just type it into C-SPAN and look at their interviews, and they make it very understandable. I mean, C-SPAN 2, and C-SPAN 3. If you go to their website, everything is archived and free, and you can find everything you need on there. Getting a deep freeze, canning, and freeze drying. Freeze drying can extend your food life for days, weeks, and months. Well, Stacy was saying that her freeze dryer can extend food for 25 years, which is astounding. I mean, that's amazing. DGA, hey, is your medical system better than ours? Just kidding. Don't have to answer. It is, assuredly. Now, in terms of high-end care, the U.S. is very advanced because of our research and our universities. And some of the most advanced care, believe it or not, is the VA. Believe it or not, the VA is some of the most advanced high-end. I know it doesn't sound like it because, like, there's stories about veterans like dying in the hallways and stuff. So yeah, there's problems with its employment, but in terms of the sophistication of the level of technological care, the VA is easily one of the pinnacles of medicine. But I'm talking about overall healthcare outcomes, social indicators like infant mortality, lifespan, etc. I'm afraid of water. Oh, Diver Dave. Okay. Instead of telling country folk why they should move to a city, why not look more into being self-reliant? I'm not. I'm just saying, because you were saying if you don't get out of the city, you're fucked. And I'm just saying, while I would like to, it might not be a viable option for me because you need money to leave the city. Furthermore, I'm saying that what if it's possible in urban density to also have some sustainability and self-sufficiency that there might be, especially through systems of cooperation. Well, I don't know how good your medical system is. I do know I love the medical system I get to enjoy. Yeah. No, I've lived out there. I've lived in Germany, and good feedback, DGA. I lived in Germany. I mean, here's exactly how it works. It's okay. Let me give you a perfect example. The number one best highly rated medical system in the US that we have is Medicare for seniors. It has like an 89% approval rating. That's a single payer system. That's what everyone gets from the time they're born. If you have a medical problem, you go to the doctor and then you swipe a card and they bill it to the national healthcare system. Done. End of story. That's literally it. I was a country kid, moved to the city, and now I'm back to the city for long-term living plans. I thought you said you were out on a ranch. Now I actually agree with you on the war and violence aspect of it. Yeah. City to city, Andrew. Okay, hold on. Let me see. She's wrong. Okay, well, read her book and tell me where she's wrong. Or actually look at one of her interviews and tell me why you think she's wrong. Budget guy, country for 20 years, city for 15, back to the country. I thought, am I getting people mixed up? Didn't you just say I'm getting people mixed up? Yeah, right here. You said, so now you're back to the country, but right here you said, I've gone back to the city for long-term living plans. So I'm not sure which one. I'm getting confused. Okay. Not that it matters. You don't have to tell us. You could, okay, here we go. You could be independent, not rely on that comes if you wanted to be independent. Okay, well, again, check out Ellen Mixon's Wood's thesis. Tell me where she's wrong. Not if you want any kind of luxury. I mean, I don't know how to make a toothbrush. I don't know how to make toothpaste. I mean, there are options, of course. You can do like baking soda. But again, I don't know how to make baking soda. I don't know how to make bed sheets, underwear, socks. I don't, I'm not saying these things are impossible, and like transition towns and intentional communities are about creating those things where you get people who know how to garden, people who know how to make clothes, I manufacture clothing, but I go to a factory to do it, right? And they have the machines. I don't even really barely know how to sew, but I get people's clothing made for them. Like they say, okay, this is where I want to get them patterns, the digital things, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, let me just not. People with a lack of real world knowledge instead read theory can certainly be independent. Well, again, tell me if that's actually the case. I'd love to hear it. My experience of professional with the VA has been mixed, but when it works, you are right, Hollywood. That's what I mean, because so much of the bureaucracy has had so many problems in the past. There have been these notorious stories of some terrible outcomes where people get lost in the bureaucratic shuffle. But I'm not talking about the bureaucracy aspect of the VA. I'm talking about the technological, clinical, medical side is, as I understand it, one of the most advanced medical systems in existence. Oh, I agree. This is what I'm talking. This is neoliberalism. This is capitalism. Sorry, I said that wrong. Okay. Elsewhere could fit it in. I'm on the grid. I'm chatting with y'all. I'm on my cell phone connected Wi-Fi network. Great. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, I don't. On the other hand, I think technology will not disappear. I think that, like, worst case scenario, EMP thing, and the very next day, people are going to be making batteries, silicone boards, circuits. We're going to have computers within 24 hours. I'm tired. That's why I keep a wireless thing. Like, part of my Go kit is a wireless thing, because I think the internet will be right up and running again. I keep memory stuff on memory. Computers will be right back up and running so fast. I mean, certainly out here in California anyway. I just know way too many people that'll just, the very next day, they're going to be running magnets with coils and solar panels and shit. I mean, electricity will be up and running in 24 hours. Electricians, we're going to rebuild it right away if there is a worst case scenario like that, which, who knows. Budget. I have seen similar things down here with citrus farming almost all gone. Yeah, I know. I agree. People with real world knowledge instead of read theory can be independent. I know, but Shane, where are you going to get, your basic necessities from? Tin cans, knives? I mean, some people can smelt iron and, I don't know, mix carbon and vanadium into it. But I mean, again, that all comes from the industrial system. Micarta, some people can kind of make it, but most people buy the micarta and then shape it, again, electricity, unless you're using like pedal power and solar power, cell phone towers. I mean, we could go to ham radio, but you see what I'm saying? There's so much dependent. I don't know how to make toothbrushes. There is some, recipes like, again, but like bamboo salt. That's kind of my point, Andrew, and you have to get to the phone somewhere. Hollywood, you believe you can't afford it because someone told you that. No, I've looked into it. What it would take to get some, like, for example, you can find some very cheap land, like California City. I know that's a place. It's a weird random ass place, and it's relatively cheap, but it's not connected to the grid. And I don't know how to be fully off grid. Don't get me wrong. I've done a lot of research. But at some point, I'm going to have to make weekly trips to Walmart to get lots of stuff. It's not that easy. There's Slab City. It's free. It's an old military base, and there's a whole bunch of people. But you got to take big water gallons because there's no water out there, and it's a desert. So again, being completely out this head, I know how to make baking soda. Well, soda ash. Oh, okay. I'm not saying it can't be made because I know it's just sodium bicarbonate. I don't think it's terribly advanced, but again, I don't know. And again, it's the industrial system that provides these things. I don't think it should be. I think that it should be local. Lived a month without Aaron. I was so fine. So would I miss you, fine folks? Yes. Would I die if no? Yeah. Well, I agree. I mean, I've definitely unplugged, and no, I wouldn't say I terribly suffered, but long term, the internet, look, I remember the days, like somebody said, somebody in a comment, I said once, we were talking about slip joints. And I said, no half stop? Oh, deal breaker for me. And someone, kind of ridiculed me in the chat. Oh, well, what did you do in the days before there were half stops? I said, listen, I remember the days before remote controls, microwave ovens, cable TV, okay, and certainly the internet. I can't go back to that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I remember all that. But once the cat's out of the bag, once the genie's out of the bottle, we just get used to it. Like, you know, I remember driving around LA without GPS. I'd have to pull over and look at the map. It was a fucking pain in the ass. So, you know, yeah, I have paper maps in case the GPS goes down. I got from the AAA, I got a stack of all the local maps on paper in case I need to do some real navigating. But otherwise, I still use GPS, you know, and I don't plan on not using it. I'm sorry, I just don't. True budget. We're too much fun. Shame. It's almost 8 a.m. Okay. Oh, okay. Hey, I have to get to work. Discuss your heart's content, but remember, it's okay to disagree. Thank you, DJ. I would probably get more things done instead of sitting on my butt half the day. You know, it's a toss-up. I agree. Every bit of technology was supposed to make us work faster, more efficiently. But what they forgot was it's also more distracting. So yes, using a word processor is a lot faster than me writing something out on paper and typing it out. Yes, I remember that too. You know, but I'm not going to go back to that. But I also waste twice as much time as I saved. So it's a toss-up. I'd love to try that even just for a day. Try it. It's worth it. Hollywood, it's the case all over this country, but they just convince the inner city it's not possible. Well, I don't know. I'll see. I'll look into it some more. I mean, I've looked into like distressed properties, like land trusts and tiny home, blah, blah, blah. It's a big thing. You need some capital to do it. Okay, that would be true in any system, wouldn't it? But I get that. I enjoy sitting on my butt now and then very much. Go for it, unplug your router and chuck the cord in the trash after ordering one good. Self-forced break. Yeah. How would you make a silicone board without computers to do it? Really? You need a computer to make a silicone board? Can't you just make one with like hot soldering iron? And I don't know. Sorry. I've seen the factories that make them, not low tech. Well, the super high tech circuits today, yeah, you need the full dust masks and everything. But a fairly rudimentary computer, you can make like circuit boards, like old school Radio Shack style computers. It won't be very powerful, but you can upgrade from there. Sorry if I mistyped a bit. I was in the country from 80 to 99 at college, from 90 to 2001, and city from 2000 back to the country about 6. Oh, okay. So very recently. Okay. Got it. The other house occupants will kill me and retrieve the router. I know. Why would? Wait, what? Well, yeah, just unplug yourself. Why would what we have disappear? What? With what? If there's an EMP, everything could be fried. I know, but not everything. Aluminum, for example, and there's going to be people who are sufficiently underground. Some things will survive. Nothing's ever complete. There's no magic base left to make the basics that we need to make the other stuff. Yeah. Do you believe they can rebuild the grid before that 2-day food supply expires? No, I'm not saying that. Like I was telling Andrew earlier, no, right now we're nowhere near in a position for that. That's why I'm saying we need to build that now. Oh, thanks for proving my point. You live in a death trap. Oh, that's what you mean by death trap. Yeah. The panic that can be seen in cities, there would be so many victims in a week or so before everything is restored. I have miles between me and cities. I could literally go 6 months on my own. Yeah, that's nice. All right, good night. In the town, make sure you know who you're killing if stuff stays down for more than a week. I don't think anyone needs to kill anybody, and I don't think that's factually supported either. I could look that up too. There's a woman who wrote a book about natural disasters. God, my vision is shit. Well, I'm not going to find that book either, but there's a lady who wrote a book just before the earthquake in Haiti, right after Katrina. And basically, she did a study of all the major natural disasters globally over the past, whatever, decade or two or whatever. And she found that people didn't go around killing each other, looting, robbing, that in fact, they bound together and shared and cooperated. So I don't think it's going to be like how a lot of people imagine. I think maybe too enthusiastic. I didn't think so, just pointing out the death traps of the city, right? Hollywood, you can buy 5 acres of water source in Alabama for 3 months rent in LA. Right. Well, that's why I'm saying I don't know about where you guys are, because in fact you're absolutely right. I mean, that's why I was mentioning even in California there are places that are cheap, but it won't be connected. You won't have any infrastructure. You won't have access to water, sewage, etc. And in California, most municipalities, you are not allowed to live, even if it's your own property, you're not allowed to live in a tent or an RV. And some places, if you do, you have to move it, like I think every 3 months. So you're not allowed to camp on your own property. It's just a whole lot of I know a guy that built his own little, anyway, it's just a big pain in the ass. And the tax guy will come and they'll find you, because these things are run on a local level in the end. Point being, I know some of my neighbors are insiders, looters, or bad people. Yeah, I agree with you. The thing is, there are bad actors out there. The problem is, this might be naive of me. It might be overly simplistic, but all of those people are going to fucking get ganked early on. Crime doesn't pay. Take a look around, even without a disaster scenario. If you live that life, live by the sword, die by the sword. You go around robbing people, it is not going to take long before you get got. I'm sorry, you are not going to last. You go around looting and robbing, you're going to get got, and those people will weed themselves out really fast, because they have a social Darwinistic point of view versus a true Darwinistic point of view. Darwinism is the survival. What he means when he said fit, he didn't say that, by the way, but the idea of survival goes to those who best cooperate and adapt. People who use force, anyway, they're not going to last. I'll take them out in 2 seconds. I'm not preparing for an all-out collapse of society. I'm just preparing to survive for an epic collapse that would last for about a week or two before society is restored. I agree. I'm around like that, because if there's a big earthquake here, it's going to be a while before things are up and running. But for that matter, you guys let's look at global warming. We're looking at catastrophic failures. Take a look. If the Greenland ice sheet slides off of fucking Greenland, okay? 90% of the world's population lives near the coastline. Okay. If they're right now talking about the Antarctic shelf, I mean, Antarctica, that's a whole continent covered with hundreds and thousands of years of ice, maybe 1 million years worth of ice, of winter after winter after winter after winter, just piled and piled and piled. They've drilled those core samples down. They know what the oxygen content was 500,000 years ago. They know how hot the summers were and how cold the winters were. They've drilled down and they've taken those ice cores and they've analyzed them. We know what the climate has been over, I think, 500,000 years at this point, and every day our knowledge gets even further back in time. If that fucker goes, we're going to have some major coastline problems. So there could be some very other major catastrophic events as well. And this is not the big virus. The big virus is yet to come. It might be optimistic. Once again, the location is a problem. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely worth investigating. Look at our current 14 days to slow the spread curve. Anyway, yeah, The meth dealers are the mayors and big shots of town, so I know who the cops are protecting. Yeah, I know. My contention is, I don't think it's my understanding of civilization is the opposite, that it's state power that holds up. Look at the DEA, look at the CIA, look at the people that the Zetas were created by state apparatuses. Over 50% of Zetas were trained at Columbus, South Carolina. You know, the Fort Bennings, no, Georgia, Fort Benning, excuse me, at the School of the Americas, which they now call WINSEC, the Western Hemisphere something, strategic something or other. Still the School of the Americas, where they teach torture, counterinsurgency, you know, all the war criminals that committed all the genocides throughout Latin America and South America were all trained in Fort Benning. This is state apparatus that props these people up. So I agree with you. Take a look at the Zapatistas in Oaxaca, Mexico. Zapatistas and Subcommandant Marcos. You know, these are people who agree, like, look, it's the state that's the bad actor. They're the ones working with the narco traffickers. They're the ones working with the local police. And so it is up to us to defend our own communities. I saw how terrible people treat other cities. I'm going to be ready to protect my land and family, everything on it. That's why you need to get away from the coastline. Can't do it alone. Right. It takes a village. But seriously, even family-sized groups are probably not safe. It's tough. It's tough to say. Okay. Yeah, I moved back to my hometown to be with my family. Yeah. So, God, it's almost 4 hours. It's 11 now. It's been fun, guys. I don't want to go endlessly. This is definitely much longer than I usually like to go. It's been fun, though. I know. I finally caught up. I'm sorry, guys. I do kind of go off on my little rants and my little things. Was I super far behind? I felt like I was. I was reading some of those comments that were good 10, 15 minutes past what I was talking about. Because I did go on my rants, and I did do some fruitless web searches for books. I got to go to bed. Okay, good night. If there's nothing else, guys, please leave your comments below if there's a rebroadcast that you watch. If you have any comments, questions, if shit goes down, I'm not alone. I can arm about 10, 15 people. Most of them have their own arms to bring to the party. Yeah. Okay, so good night. And yeah, please comment below, hit like, subscribe, join us next time, and we'll keep this as a continuing dialogue. Thanks. So if there's nothing else, I'll give it a minute. Let's see, what knife will I show you? I'll show you the Mordax. Protect Mordax with the quick stud. Buy yourselves a bunch of these because they're perfect for middle finger flicking. I added it to the sway back. This is the White Mountain Knives exclusive 154 cm brown micarta Kaiser sway back. See, middle finger flickable. And then the Malibu. Where's my Malibu? This is the Blade Show West exclusive limited edition Malibu with that beautiful mosaic pin for the button. Can you see that? Not sure if I like the Malibu better than the Mordax. I guess I'm so used to the Malibu, the Mordax. I think I like it better. Join you. Shit's gonna go south here quick. Night to everybody. Happy to discuss any time. May not agree but can accept. Okay. Thanks everybody. And I guess that's it. I don't see any new comments. So that's it for the knives I'll show you for now. I need to look for my 80-20. I'm gonna put it back in its bag. I know this mosaic pin. Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, hit thumbs up if you haven't before you go. All right, good night, everybody. Thanks for joining in. I appreciate it. And this, gosh, I think this is my longest so far. I really didn't mean to, but we definitely had some lively conversation, and I'm more than glad to continue. And I think we can try and go more in depth, pick small little subsections, and go down the rabbit hole. All right, good night.